Yeah! Well, now the gavel's calling. Let's get this session started. Hey, folks, grab a seat. It's time to get the scoop. Baker's in session, serving justice with a whoop. From sunny Cali courts to the heartland's dusty halls, we'll spin the yarns of trials big and small. Oh, Baker in session, tales old and brand new. Some make you laugh, some will leave you in a stew. Gavels dropping beats, witnesses take the stand. Join the fun, y'all, across this great land. Hey. Classic papers like OJ or that moonshine bust. Fresh headlines steaming high. In Baker we trust. Murder in the Midwest, scams down south so sly. We'll break it down with grins, no need to cry. East Coast embezzlers, West Coast wild rides. Supreme Court showdowns where the big shots collide. From petty thefts to plots that twist and turn, Baker's got the stories that'll make you learn and burn. Oh, Baker in session, tales old and brand new. Some make you laugh, some will leave you in a stew. Gavels dropping beats, witnesses take the stand. Join the fun, y'all, across this great land. Famous folks in hot seats, underdogs who win. We'll cheer the verdicts, dive right in. Coast to coast adventures in the name of the law. Baker's here to share it without a single flaw. Hit subscribe, don't miss the legal ride. Baker in session where the laughs collide. Hey, how radio roll.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be, and welcome to another delayed live trial. Today we will be looking at I believe her name is, I'm not sure, Dewan something. I'm not sure. Devyn Michaels. It's a case it's starting day 4 now, live streaming, but we are a little delayed. But the Kid and Danny T has said this trial is a must see. Not only did she try to, she succeeded in her boyfriend, husband, she then tried to ship business his head. And then she has a past where she apparently was a muscle mommy Cornstar. For those of you who are sitting there thinking, but Baker, you a man beast, what's that? And why do you know any of that? Well, I don't. Of course, I am pure as the driven snow. So I reached out to my assistant, Brandon, and said, can you tell me about this corn thing? And he sent me a dozen web pages that I had to look through. I had to stop a lot of times to stock up on some electrolytes, get some fluids back in me. But apparently there is a subsector of corn on the internet where a lot of women will be flexing and she was one of those back in the day where she was working as a cornstar. She then became a realtor and met this fella, and he has a son. So just to tie it all back together to her corn past, because there's also a subsection that is really interested in stepsons and stepdaughters, sisters, whatever. So according to the kid, you have to blame the kid. This time we can't blame Marissa. Well, of course we can blame Marissa, but this time we can't blame Marissa for it. It's the kid who says this case is a must watch. So I think we're just having to jump in on it. Farrell, you know exactly what you walked into. Flexing what? Flexing her muscles. No spoilers, but opening statements will explain all. Well, then we can just watch opening statements and jump to day 4. Then we don't have to sit here and watch the first 3 days. But it seems like apparently there's some text messages and there's a mention of something that I don't know much about American cuisine, but apparently Arby's has a roast beef sandwich. And that's somehow used as a euphemism for, I think. So I'm just saying it could be an interesting case. Thank you, Jenna G. I just had a shower, that's why. Well, he is very kind to me as always. He also gave me a shout out last night. He said I was under sub. I watched the witness mother testify over this weekend with a Dutchy translator. Oh, don't spoil it. You used to work at Arby's. Oh, interesting. Yes, you missed it. It was over on Recovery Addict. I went to bed and they came back in less than 2 hours. And I had sent people over so I didn't have to sit and wait all night. We were pretty late in the day. Hello, Jamester.
Morning.
Are you excited?
More than you know.
Well, you have been watching this. Is there a lot to look forward to, or is the kid overselling it?
I have not been watching it at all, so I have no idea what's going on.
Everyone's lying to me.
I've only seen when she was supposed to be getting sentenced and then freaked out. That's the only thing I've seen.
Yeah. We might need to say that before we start. She did make a plea deal. She admitted to doing it, and then she went to court, and all of a sudden she wanted to tell her side of the story, and the prosecution said, "Well, fuck it, we'll take it to trial." So that's not good.
Yeah. She said she's innocent, and she has proof that she's innocent, so we'll see.
And Laurie Wells is in Vegas and will not give spoilers. Thank you so much for not spoiling it, because it's a 3-day-old trial. It's a little annoying if people come in and say, "Oh yeah, this witness, you won't believe when he pops his left eye out. It looks really weird." Then no one is going to watch it. Hope you had a good weekend. Had a blast with some friends, visiting another friends in Wales. We did some archery in the backfield. It was good fun. Oh. I tried archery once. I slapped the hell out of my arm. Hey, Shannon.
Morning, guys.
Well, then let's get to it.
Let's get it.
Well, let's just say she doesn't look like, again, I had no knowledge of any of this. Brandon had to send me certain websites. I didn't even know stuff like that existed on the internet. I thought internet was for Bible studies and puppy videos. But apparently there's a lot of stuff going on that I didn't know about, Jamie.
I did too. That it was only for puppies. Sweet things. But no, it's a cesspool.
Well, if you saw it on delay, then it won't jump over to Recovery Addict. But I put in that he was found guilty of capital unaliving. I put it in the YouTube chat because, again, I was in bed when it happened, and it was really fast. We had, there's a verdict, boom, it's going to be there, and he got sentenced to life. They sentenced him the same day because it's a mandatory sentencing. I was a little surprised they didn't want to call any testimony from the family, but they were just, yep, You're going to prison for life. Bye.
No.
So that was all. But Jamie, I know you like a good corn actress, so let's get to it.
Sure.
This one, and then I need have to figure this out. And the rumble didn't start, and then the rumble did start. So I was afraid anime was going to yell at me again today, but it seems like it works. I think rumble is live. Yeah, because anime is over on rumble. So Baker, how much research did you do about the alleged perpetrators in the case? I just said I had to run through several pints of electrolyte water because it was taxing doing research. Jamie, I do this for you and the rest of the chat.
I don't want you to do anything for me like that.
Oh, okay. What was movie night? What was movie night like, and what was on the show?
What?
What was on movie night yesterday?
Oh my God. Why am I blanking out? Oh, we watched Batman, Michael Keaton Batman.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
This ridiculous movie Sean found called The Wild World of Batwoman. It was something else.
That sounds like that could have been on one of Brandon's websites.
Well, we weren't sure. It was from the 60s, so you know.
Boobies. Let's get to
There
it.
wasn't any though.
Oh, that's really loud. I need to take the enhancer off. Let's get to it.
7239, State of Nevada versus Devyn Michaels. May the record reflect that Ms. Michaels is present with her attorneys, deputy district attorneys on behalf of the state. Do both parties stipulate to the presence of our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and are you guys ready to begin?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin this trial, for those of you who are going to be our jurors, I want to let you know what to expect, so we're going to go through some preliminary instructions before we get started. First of all, we'd like you to be as comfortable as possible while you're here. So if you have any trouble hearing or seeing at any time during this trial, not timely break for a minute, which I may sometimes
Versus 1 to Michaels, District Court, Clark County, Nevada, the State of Nevada plaintiff versus Devyn Jade Michaels, aka Nikki Fairchild, aka Tracy Baker, aka Tracy Nicole Tavares, defendant. Case number C23377-239-1, Department 10, Third Amended Indictment, State of Nevada, County of Clark, the defendant above named, Devyn Jade Michaels, aka Nikki Fairchild, aka Tracy Baker, aka Tracy Nicole Tavares, accused by the Clark County Grand Jury of the crime of murder with use of a deadly weapon, committed at or within the County of Clark, State of Nevada, on or about the 7th day of August 2023 as follows. Did willfully, unlawfully, feloniously, and with malice aforethought kill Jonathan Willett, a human being, with use of a deadly weapon, to wit, a wooden stick and or other unknown object, by striking the said Jonathan Willett with said wooden stick and or other unknown object, and or through other unknown means, the said killing having been 1, willful, deliberate, and premeditated, and or 2, committed during the perpetration or attempted perpetration of a robbery. Dated this 28th day of October 2025, Stephen B. Wolfson, Clark County District Attorney, by John Giordani, Chief Deputy District Attorney, to which the defendant has pled not guilty to.
Ladies and gentlemen, please understand that the Second Amended Indictment is simply a charge and that it is not in any sense evidence of the allegations it contains. The defendant has pled not guilty to the Second Amended Indictment. The state, therefore, has the burden not guilty in accordance with its very own about this case. After anything under this and this means retired is true. I witness to the fact that it's
Yeah, we're just skipping jury instructions. It's not impossible.
Court of the case will not talk to you. Please understand that they are not being rude during the witness's testimony. Undue weight.
According to the evidence, so help you God. You may be seated. Thank you all.
And someone said, yes, we are just starting this one. It's former adult actress, realtor turned unaliver, and apparently also banging her stepson. So yeah, and the defense team is the same team that was on the Tellus case, which was that guy who was dressed up like a Vietnamese day worker when he unalived a journalist writing bad stuff about him. So they had no success in that case, but I also think that's because they had a really, really bad client.
are you prepared to give an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Prior to that, can counsel approach?
7th of 2023, the defendant, Devyn Michaels, brutally murdered and savaged the body of her ex, Jonathan Willett. But the story did not begin on August 7th of 2023, and all I can say is buckle up because you're in for a wild ride. This is
It must be on some other channel. I never covered a Vegas case.
Jonathan in life. It's Jonathan's 2 young children that he shared with the defendant. Both girls, faces blocked out. They're preteen young children.
No, is
You
that
will learn
the
during the course of this trial that John had
That's
a
from
son from
the-
a prior relationship named Devyn. That after
I
Devyn
never
was
covered
born,
a
he
Vegas
split
case,
with
so I don't
Devyn's
know
mother,
what
eventually
Yes, you
getting into
No.
a
Glenn? Glenn
Oh
was
yeah,
Vegas.
that's right. That's because I thought about Glenn was in he was in Alabama.
No, they were in Vegas because it was
No,
the.
but Glenn
what?
was from Alabama.
I thought he was from Vegas, but
No, the murder happened in Vegas, but he tried to hire Glenn when he was living in Alabama or somewhere.
maybe I don't
No,
remember that.
Of course you can remember that. Just ask Sue; she knew him. But yeah, it could be the judge from the Black Widower case.
I just thought that because I saw her face and heard her voice, and I was like, "Is that the same lady?" But anyways,
Yeah.
relationship with the defendant. They then had these 2 children together. They separated, and there was a custody agreement that was ordered by the family court in which the victim had full physical custody of the girls. You will learn that the defendant was not happy about that situation, that the defendant wanted to have control of her girls, and she wanted to start a new life with Devyn, the same Devyn that is John's son. On August 7th of 2023, Yoko Willett, an elderly woman, woke up to find her dead son in his room with what she referred to as his face and neck missing. This is the 911 call she closed.
Yes, this is Yoko Willett. My number is, address is 2698 Aradura Drive, Henderson, Nevada. Yeah, 702-203-8975. Okay, I went downstairs and my son is on the bed and all bloody. I don't know, I opened the cover. It's all bloody, I don't know. Can you come over?
Yeah, we're coming up here. What happened to him, you know?
I have no idea. I drove to the outside this morning, but
Is he awake now?
and
Is he awake?
yes, I think he's dead.
Listen, Stephen, I already have a call for help, okay? How old is your son?
About 46 seconds.
Is he breathing?
Oh, bloody all over. Huh?
Where's he bleeding from him?
I don't know, from the egg or something.
Do you see any weapons around him?
No, I
Does
don't
he have a way of harming himself? Can you tell?
What?
Does it look like he hurt himself at all? Like, maybe
I
shot
have no
himself?
idea. Those was on the yard. I told him, I didn't know he's trying to move out from my house.
Okay.
And his girlfriend was here yesterday.
Okay. When's the last time you saw him? Yeah, when's the last time you saw him? Okay, how long ago?
Last night.
Last night.
Yeah, I think somebody has to come to eat.
Okay, yeah, we're already on the way, okay? We're going to try to help him before we get there. Do you have a defibrillator available inside your house?
Huh?
Do you have a defibrillator available at your house, a shocking machine?
I don't.
That's okay. Yeah. What I want you to do is take do you feel safe to get ready next up so we can try to just...
That is what police found when they arrived at the Willett residence. Jonathan on his bed in his bedroom. As you can see, his head is missing. Large blood stain at the foot of the bed there.
What? I think he's dead. As you can see, his head is missing.
oh my God, that's kind of a
I-
stupid way
I-
to say it.
I was wearing my Danny T t-shirt to the gym today with the headless chicken, but other than him, I don't think a lot of living organisms really does well without a head, especially human
No.
beings. I don't. Maybe it's because they are American that they can live without a head. That was a joke about how a little. Sorry, Americans. But I would take it as a good indication that he's not alive if he's missing his head.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this could be a good indication.
And a large amount of blood underneath where his head should be. Officers
What?
eventually removed the cover from his body and noted several chemical burns, or what appeared to be strange chemical burns on his body. And a very clean decapitation. You can see that. Henderson Police Department was responsible for the investigation. After first responders arrived on scene, clearly couldn't render any medical aid to the victim, they locked down the scene. Homicide investigators are then enlisted and take over. Along with the homicide investigators, they bring out an army of crime scene analysts and treat this case obviously very seriously, and they go into the home after executing a search warrant. When they go into the home, they obviously focus on the bedroom, but they do a pretty thorough search of the entire residence, the curtilage, the backyard, the front, the trash cans, the upstairs bedrooms, the kitchen, the living room, and these are the items that they find. A couple of chemical bottles, obviously relevant for the potential chemical burns on the victim's body. They find some interesting writings that you'll see a little bit more of later, demonstrating that there was a contentious custody case going on between the victim and someone at that point, someone. They see out front John's moving truck, the victim's moving truck. You will learn that he had a moving business. There's a trailer on the back. It's parked a little cattywampus, going the wrong way on the street and poking out into the street as though he may have planned on moving after he last parked that truck. But the items that weren't found are what was particularly notable for the investigators. They didn't find a murder weapon. They didn't find whatever this person used to cut his head off. They did not find his head.
I don't know. What is 2022? It happened, Jamie? Did you hear when they said it happened? I wasn't listening.
I
Jamie
don't know.
doesn't listen.
It's been I do too. I know I thought it had been a while, but yeah.
Yeah. I think she's
never found his
she's
head.
been checked by mental institutions because she is a little wacko.
But they never found his head either. Oof. Yikes.
Well, Jamie, again, do we know that he's really dead just because I'm a baker. I have no medical profession to determine if a body is dead just because the head isn't present. Shax is saying 2023.
Did they say, sir, wake up?
First rule is to pinch the ears. Oh, there's no ears. Slap the cheeks. Nope. Do the sternum rub. We can do the sternum rub.
Oh my lord.
I don't know if she was inspired by jealousy business.
Did not find his wallet, they did not find his truck keys, and they did not find his phone. They interviewed Yoko, and the gentleman above Yoko's photo is Yoshida, her partner. According to Yoko and Yoshida, the defendant, who they referred to as Nikki and knew as Nikki, ultimately identified as Devyn Michaels, was the last person to see Jonathan alive. Nikki and John had been moving the girls and John's items from this Paladura address to Nikki's address on Porcupine Rim that she shared with Devier, and for a temporary period over the summer, the young girls. They learned that Nikki and John returned to this address, the Paladura address, for the last time at 10 p.m. on August 6th, or around 10 p.m. They learned from Yoko that about 1 a.m. she was going downstairs for a glass of water and ran into the defendant, who she will describe to you when you hear from her as she appeared to be startled to see me. The defendant and Yoko have a conversation. It's relatively brief. Yoko's in the kitchen cleaning up some dishes. The defendant has now entered the kitchen, and they begin to talk when the defendant tells Yoko, John's asleep. Don't go in there. Those aren't her words. You'll hear this through the course of the trial. She says, John's asleep. He's passed out. We have plans for him to move some more stuff in the morning. Kind of don't bother him kind of thing. Yoko then noticed that the lights were on in John's room, but decided, hey, if he's asleep, I'm not going to go in there. She returns back upstairs. Yoko went to sleep, leaving Nikki, or the defendant, alone in the home. And you will learn very clearly that there were only 4 people in the home at the time of this incident: the victim, the defendant, Yoko, and Yoshida. Yoko also will tell you that around 8 a.m. she found John without a face. You probably heard from the 911 call, there's a bit of a language barrier. She'll do her best to describe what she initially saw and the shock, obviously, that ensued. So the defendant is the last person to see him, so investigators are very curious to speak with her. Homicide detectives summon her to the scene. They get a hold of her via a phone number given by a neighbor. She answers that phone. It's her phone. She agrees to come to the scene, leaving Devier and the girls are with the defendant as well. She, in her initial interview, says John is her ex. They share the 2 children together, that they spent the whole day together on August 6th, moving, shopping for the girls' school supplies, etc. Everything's normal from her perspective. That evening, they were moving the girls' things into her home on Porcupine, and she was, in fact, at the Paladura residence last night doing that. She would go on to describe it's a normal night, there's nothing out of sorts, and that John was alive and well in the garage when she left. Remember that. Further investigation, of course, occurs. Homicide detectives are treating this very seriously. You will learn from many of them that when a homicide such as this comes in, they divide duties. There's too much for one person to do. And so, although there is a lead detective who goes by the name of Dennis Ozawa, Detective Ozawa was not in any way the only person investigating this case. He had an entire team, and you will hear from many of those people. You will learn that one big thing in the modern days of investigation is video cameras. They're everywhere in our valley, so they canvass all around. The Paladura residence is kind of right in the middle of all those yellow markers. They canvassed all these different addresses for anything who saw, heard anything, and anyone who had a camera. Some of those were fruitful, some of them were not. They knocked on the doors where video cameras were visibly present. They even knocked on doors where they weren't present in the hopes.
Casey Anthony, that was in Florida. It's the Tillis defense team.
That maybe someone saw or heard something, and they gathered a lot of footage. We're going to do our best during the course of this trial to...
Marissa, don't you not be in a Cornstar? A lot of them are very successful. Just look at how much they make on OF, and it makes a lot of young women believe they can be just as successful. And they end up stuffing cacti into their orifices for $20 a month. Capitalism is a win-win for those ladies. Sebastian Müller. Wie geht's? Why do I talk to him in German, Jamie? He's Danish.
I don't know.
No.
You're wacky.
No, apparently she was also a realtor, which I don't know really what is, but I like the word. Is it someone everyone is nowadays, Jamie?
It's just somebody who sells houses. Everyone's can be a realtor. Everyone's always some kind of realtor.
Okay, because in Denmark you have to take a very long and kind of hard education to sell houses, because you have to know all the rules and all the regulation that has to be followed, and because you can't just say, oh, this house is perfect, and oh, by the way, there's black fungus everywhere in the walls. So you can't just go out and sell a house. You have to be licensed to do that. Well, I can sell my house, but I can't sell someone else's house because there's a lot of rules that has to be followed. I've showed some of the documents that you have to have made in Denmark with the energy reports and all of that stuff. And it's not just something you'll do. I just know a lot of female wrestlers become realtors. So,
well, yeah. There's still something like a test you have to take to get your license. But I mean, I know a lot of people that just decide to do it and do it. So it's not like I don't know how hard it is, but
I don't know. I don't know anything.
I don't want to say it's not hard and somebody's a realtor. I'm like, yeah, that was difficult. But I know a lot of people that have transitioned to a realtor just on a whim.
Someone was asking, where is Brandon? And I don't know, but he asked me if we could do something today, because I told him he could come in and do it. I hope this is the correct. Is this, because it's a very long share? Can I share a shorter? Yes, I can copy this thing. Sorry, I'm gonna do this. Brandon asked me if I could share this link to a GoFundMe. It's someone who has had his work truck burned down on him. It's a name called. It's a guy called Jeff. When he was, he's the owner of Do It All Ceiling, and he was heading to work to do a patio stone area leveling job when the tragedy stopped. He was driving his old Dodge Ram, towing his dump trailer loaded with equipment, and he noticed smoke coming from behind his truck and started to change lanes, and it started burning fast. And he got out of there, and it burned down. The insurance only covered the truck, so all of his equipment is gone, and that's equipment that's approximately $15,000 worth of equipment. So Brandon asked if we could, if anyone has the opportunity to help out. He has made a GoFundMe. No, it's not. It's a GoFundMe, because he needs his full driveway ceiling set up, backpack blower, straight shaft grass trimmer, custom asphalt shoes, traffic pylons, 2 asphalt loots, wheelbarrow, rakes, sledgehammers, multiple shovels, crack brooms, gas canisters, wrenches, and miscellaneous tools for sealing and line painting, toolbox completely filled with hundreds of tools, new laser levels, stud finders. Jamie has one of those. It's called her nose. Digital testers, heavy-duty wrenches, screwdrivers, Allen keys, Makita drill and drive set, Makita stuff. A lot of stuff that burned down. But Brandon asked if he was allowed to share it today, because it's a good guy who was very unlucky. So I said, of course you can, my friend. He was on LC's show. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that happened. But it just shows you your livelihood can be gone in seconds. So if anyone has the opportunity, or if you don't, share it out there. Maybe someone can help him get his job back, because all of the tools you need for his trade are gone. Yes, Brandon is playing a tough guy, but he is in reality a very good person.
Streamline it for you. There's hundreds of hours of footage, and we're going to present it in the best way we can. They also learned that there is a neighbor directly to the left of the homicide scene who had a motion-activated Ring camera, which will become important later in the trial. There also was an autopsy, of course. The Henderson Detective Ozawa attended that autopsy. You will hear from the medical examiner in this case, Dr. Stephanie Yagi with the Clark County Coroner's Office, who enlisted the assistance of a forensic anthropologist, Dr. Burns, who works out of UNLV. You will learn that Dr. Yagi surmised that the cause of death was homicidal violence and the manner of death was homicide. You will learn that she noted the non-thermal chemical burns on the body, which did not contribute to his death, but were notable.
Yeah, he has his truck and trailer has been compensated, but all the tools is no thank you from the insurance company. So that's a lot of money gone.
Investigative purposes. Something important I want you to keep in the back of your mind is there were no bleeding injuries anywhere else on the body, so everything was focused neck and above. You will learn that the decapitation occurred post-mortem. There are histological reactions that the body has if this type of thing happens while you're still alive and your body is trying to actively repair itself. None of those were present during the course of the autopsy, and so the doctor will testify that this was a post-mortem decapitation. As I mentioned, she enlisted the assistance of a forensic anthropologist, Dr. Burns. You will hear from her as well. She will talk about the science behind what she does, and in this particular case, she was enlisted for the main purpose of determining what was used to cut off Mr. Ouellette's head. She will tell you that she did microscopic examination. During the course of that thorough examination, she determined very clearly that there were 2 separate instruments used to chop off his head. She even can narrow it down by time because of the layering of the artifacts on the bones. And so she will surmise and testify that first, a serrated or non-serrated knife was used, so a knife, whether serrated or not. When that was unsuccessful, the defendant then used...
Oh, cool. With this new program, it tells you what the the super sticker is, thank you, SWFL Book, for giving me a super sticker for $4 saying, giving me a cup of coffee and saying, for you. Thank you so much for a cup of coffee. To be clear, how do I say it? He didn't fit in there, seemed very sober from my understanding. He could have died from the incident. That's what Brandon told me as well. He was very close. So it's a good thing he didn't. Can we move this so we can read it? Maybe I can full screen this part, Jamie, so people can read along if they want to read along.
A powered saw of some sort.
Okay.
She can't narrow it down to class. You will learn, or class of tool. You will learn that the bones in the neck, the cervical spine, are very small. There are areas on it which would reflect these markings, but they are so small that she can't really surmise what type of saw. She'll testify that if it's a long bone, she has seen cases with dismemberment, involving dismemberment, but not of decapitation. But with dismemberment of larger bones, you can see more, which allows you to narrow down the type of saw that was used, but here that's not possible. Nonetheless, she will testify clearly that it was two different instruments, knife first, saw second. Further investigation also revealed what Mr. Draskevich alluded to in jury selection, a very non-traditional family situation. And I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier. The investigation revealed that the defendant, after splitting with John, ultimately married his son, Devyn. Devyn moves in with her. They are together for an extended period of time. The defendant loses custody of the girls, and eventually the girls end up, for a short period of time over the summer of 2023 before school starts, living in the home with the defendant and Devyn, with Jonathan living back at the Paladura residence with his mom and Yoshida. This is Clark County Department of Family Services document showing the parent placement verification letter describing that John was awarded full physical custody of the girls on October 27th of 2022. That Jonathan, as I said, and the girls were living at 2698 Paladura at the time. You can see in the document that the defendant had weekly supervised visitation with the girls for an extended period of time. And you will learn through various witnesses that John kind of bent the rules with that and allowed her to see the girls a little bit more than was court ordered. You will also learn that John allowed the girls to stay with the defendant and Devyn, as I mentioned, at the Porcupine Rim address over the summer of 2023, and that Jonathan was going to move in with the defendant and the girls to try to stabilize their lives and basically try to get everyone under the same roof. The girls were having a real hard time with the custody situation, and his main focus was the girls. Obviously, with all this information they've gathered, the defendant is now a person of interest. She's the last person to see John. She's been over there very close in time to his murder. There's all these ties. There's the custody paperwork I showed you earlier, the writings that were in his room. And so they respond to Porcupine Rim. I can't remember if I put a map in here, but I'll just tell you we'll have a Google map for you that shows the distance between the homes. They're about 30 minutes apart. Paladura is in Henderson. Porcupine Rim is in Las Vegas, and it's a pretty good distance, about 30 minutes. The detectives will tell you, and this is Detective Ozawa and Detective Carey.
No, I switched away from StreamYard because I would have been paying almost $400 a year for it, and last year I paid $150, I believe. So that's a lot of grifting I need to do to cover that extra bill. So now there was a stepbrother / daddy. Yes, she left her baby daddy to be with her stepson, and then it seems the dad came back home to try and stabilize the family after they lost the kids. So this story apparently has it all, or as Jamie calls it, Wednesday.
That when they go to the residence, they observe the defendant. She's kind of either moving stuff or moving back and forth between the home and the vehicle, and they note a couple of things before they approach and make contact with her. You see the Nissan Armada, which is the defendant's vehicle, looks pretty clean and shiny. You will see that cell phone on the right. The detectives observed that when they first drove up, kind of sitting in the rocks near the driveway. Thought, okay, that's weird, but we're not going to touch it. We're not executing a search warrant yet. They leave it be, and then they make contact with the defendant to interview her again, because now they know some more things, and things aren't quite adding up, and they want to know a little bit more. They make contact with the defendant, and this is prior to them going into the home and executing a search warrant on the home. They get a little more information, but the story generally remains the same, that John recently dated Andrea. This is extra information, but that last night he threw away his engagement
I think it's kind of circular, the family tree.
ring in the trash can at Paladura, which, remember that. That John wanted to get back together with her romantically, this is new information, and move in, which we already know to provide stability for the girls.
Yep.
She mentioned that Yoko does not know Devyn and I are married. She claimed that her marriage with Devyn was one of convenience for insurance purposes and non-romantic and not sexual in nature. You will learn, and you'll actually hear it, the interview. During this interview, out in the police vehicle in front of Porcupine Rim, the girls walk up, and you can hear them, their sweet little voices, and they're like, "This is Daddy's phone, this is Daddy's phone, this is why he wasn't answering." The detectives realize that's kind of important. They take the phone from the girls, or the girls give it to them, and the detectives note blood on the phone. Something important. They ask the defendant, "Well, how did this get here?" And she responded generally that he must have left it here earlier in the day when he was moving, and I don't know. I mean, there's a cigarette butt over there. I know he smoked cigarettes. It's by where the phone was. He probably left it. And the detectives are a little suspicious of that. They ask her a few more questions. Again, you're going to hear this stuff in the audio recording, so I've summarized it. And then ultimately at the end, she again sticks with this. John was alive and well in the garage when I left. As I mentioned, the detectives then obtain a search warrant and execute that search warrant on the home. They also get the warrant for the vehicles. You'll learn that that white moving van is Devier's work van. He was a home security installer. He did various jobs for a legitimate company. They searched that vehicle, nothing of evidentiary value found in that vehicle. You can also barely see behind the van, there's a small sedan that's inoperable, but they search it nonetheless. They find nothing of evidentiary value. When it comes to the defendant's Nissan Armada, they photograph it on the outside, but then they apply seals to every opening, and then they tow that to have it searched later at their lab. You will learn they find in the garage the Ring cameras from John's home. A little weird. They grab them up, they seize them pursuant to the search warrant in the hopes that maybe since these are the cameras from John's home, it captured something. There is no footage, unfortunately, associated with it. They issued administrative subpoenas and attempted to obtain footage from Ring. There was no footage because he didn't have the right account to store the Ring footage in the cloud. And I'm butchering the technical terms, I'm sure, but you'll hear all of this from witnesses. They also noted that there was no SD card in the cameras themselves, but nonetheless, they took them, they seized them pursuant to the search warrant, just to make sure. You will also learn they find several of the defendants' writings throughout the home describing kind of the relationship with Devier, not exactly how the defendant described it to them to begin with. Very importantly, they find the defendant's purse. Inside her purse, they find with Devier, not exactly how.
I'm probably going to hear this later. I know you can. It's probably
I'm
going
sure
to
they'll
be.
get to all that.
It's probably going to be a little nasty. The kid has made very high promises about this case.
The defendant described it to them to begin with. Very importantly, they find the defendant's purse. Inside her purse, they find the victim's social security card, along with one of her work cards.
I don't know.
This is the defendant's bedroom. What I've circled there is basically her underwear drawer. When you execute a search warrant, you go through everything. You basically toss the place. And when they were searching the defendant's underwear drawer, they found something. My mouse is freezing on me here.
Oh my. Underwear. Oh my.
Very important. They find several layers of knotted plastic bags, and inside they find the victim's wallet, current identification, and his only set of truck keys.
That's not the best hiding spot.
After the search warrant, they speak with the defendant again. They learn that the defendant's version regarding the phone is that she has no idea how it ended up there. They confront her with the blood on the screen. She initially says, oh, I don't know, and then she says, he cut himself moving. Remember when I talked about the autopsy earlier, no other bleeding injuries on the victim's body, remember that? She claims he cut himself while he was moving. There's no evidence to suggest that. They learned John wanted to move in with the defendant so we could have the girls under one roof and parent them. They further learn, although they already kind of know this, that John has physical custody of the girls, and the defendant claims she plays nice with him to kind of keep access to the girls and keep things kosher. They also learn, which is very important, that John was moving in quicker than she expected. They learn not only from the defendant but other witnesses that this idea of them reuniting for the children had been discussed for several months, but that on this night, on August 6th, John began loading stuff into the truck when the defendant is loading up the girl stuff into the truck. And she kind of realizes for the first time he was serious about this and this is going to happen. And you'll learn that that's when the walls start closing in on the defendant and she makes the decision she made. The detectives confront her with the fact that there is no notifications on the phone when the girls provide it. It's black, they open it, and there are no notifications on the screen. But that she had contacted him several times the night before, and that those notifications should be there based on the timing of the phone arriving at her house. They ask her, before telling her what they have found in the home, they ask her, hey.
They don't have the numbers on it, they just have a picture of her, so you can say, well, it's just a picture. It's better than some of the other pictures we're going to see of her. It's not going to be her in undress state, but it will be her. It's a picture from one of her old movies. Let's just say that. And I don't know if the son husband has anything to do with this. I don't think he has. Oh, the kid says, son husband isn't in custody or charged from what I can tell. Yeah, I don't think anyone has claimed he did anything. Remember, she did make a plea deal. She did say, I did it. And then when she came to court, she had a mental breakdown and said she wanted to tell her side of the story. And that's why we are at court, because she did agree, she did make a plea deal, but never signed it. And they said, well, then we have to go to court. And that's why we're here today. Yes, a sunspend. This is, yes. Well, so far she declined a 15-year plea deal. Did 4 already. Not Aura. Not Aura. Yeah, I'm not sure what not Aura this, but yeah, this wasn't a smart trial to go to. I just don't think she could have done it alone. Well, if you get him to lie still, you can do a lot of damage. I don't know if you know about Brandon's future ex-wife, Taylor Business. She could also do a lot on her own. You just need time and tools.
Well,
Oh,
if
not
he was
sure.
already, it's not sure, yeah.
No, not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure this should have gone to trial.
Yeah. Yeah, if he was already passed away, then it would be pretty easy to do what she had to do. Because he's not moving.
Scotty, this is why I hate opening statements, because they get to set a narrative, and they shouldn't. They should just let the case be judged by the merits alone. Yeah, I'm so sad that we can't follow Sarah Boone, because she has a really fun family court going on.
Do you have any idea where John's wallet would be? She says very unequivocally, no idea. They then say, well, hey, we kind of found this ID in this wallet in your bedroom. And she then changes her story, and she provides a version. Again, you will hear this audio recording in which she says it was back at the Paladura residence. She held the plastic bags open, and John placed his items into the bag, and she tied him up right in front of him. And they confront her when the story doesn't make sense over and over, and that's kind of the story she sticks with regard to that. You will learn there was an extensive follow-up investigation after that interview. Although things weren't adding up, although things looked very strange, the detectives did not rush to judgment and arrest her right there. Although all of the victim's property is inside her home, his blood is at her scene, they don't arrest her right there. They choose to do follow-up investigation. You will learn there was fingerprint analysis that was done. Nothing really of evidentiary value comes of that. You will learn that DNA processing was done, that the victim's blood was in fact on the phone at her house, and that the defendant's DNA was on the knot of those plastic bags where his property was found inside. You will also learn that an extensive digital investigation was done, and that was in the form of video surveillance, digital forensics, meaning phone dumps. They take the actual devices found. There's 11 found inside her home, including the victims. They plug it into a machine. They'll talk about the technology. They're able to extract the data from the phone, and they find several things of note. They also do a call detail record investigation. That is the records that your cell phone maintain or are maintained on your cell phone, everybody's cell phone, with the company you used for service. And those records not only show incoming and out.
I don't think they can talk about plea deals when, and I don't think they can bring up she already pled guilty. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I'm not a lawyer.
I don't think they
Outgoing
feel.
messages and calls, but they also show location data, because every time you place a call or receive one, you are pinging on some kind of tower.
No, this has nothing to do with her wanting 15 minutes of fame. She is mentally not all there. I watched her plea hearing gone wrong, and trust me, she is not there mentally. I don't. Yeah, no, we didn't show it, did we, Jamie? I think we just I just watched it on my own. But there's something mentally wrong with her.
Yeah, I just watched it on my own too.
Yeah, she's cray-cray.
And leaving a trail of where you've been. Not a precise trail, but a general trail of where you've been. They also pull Burla. Burla is a lot more precise than the cell phone towers. That is an infotainment system inside the Nissan Armada. And they're able to extract that data, and I'll show you that in a moment. They very clearly get a timeline based upon the Burla. The defendant's vehicle is at the victim's home by 10 o'clock at night. The vehicle activates but does not move at about 11 o'clock at night. The vehicle leaves the home for good at 2:04 a.m. 2:04 a.m. on August 7th, and you'll see that in a moment. I've noted here that the video surveillance, DFL, and CDR rule out Devyn. Obviously, he was interviewed. You will hear from him during the course of this trial, but they treat him as a suspect. Obviously, there's some fishy circumstances. They're not just pinning this on the defendant because what she's saying doesn't make sense. They're looking into both the defendant and Devyn and others. The video surveillance that I'm referring to is kind of wide-ranging. There is one particular camera you're going to learn about that was near the Porcupine Rim residence, the defendant's home. That is a full-time camera. That's not a motion-activated camera. That allows them to see the home, see what vehicles left, came, and went at any given time, and they clearly rule out Devyn from that video. In addition, I mentioned earlier, there's video surveillance from next door to the victim's home that captures the defendant at around 11 a.m. going to her vehicle, moving it slightly, and then ultimately leaving. Gotta love technology. Here are a couple of additional clips from video surveillance. The one on the left is the defendant with the victim the night before when they're doing the moving. It shows us that they are together, that no third party is present, it's just them. They go into a store, they buy an item, and they leave. And then 2:28 a.m., the defendant is alone. It kind of clipped off on this particular picture, but the defendant is alone in her vehicle after she leaves the residence and goes back to her home, ultimately landing there about 2:46 a.m. Those digital forensic examinations I mentioned become relevant, especially when it comes to Devyn. There's much more than this, but I'm trying to narrow it down for the opening statement. This particular message was sent from Devyn to the defendant, as you can see, at 10:36 p.m. See you when you get back. I'm going to sleep. Girls are in the living room. And the video surveillance supports that. This image you're seeing now is the CDR cell tower location data. There is much more to it when the witness testifies. There's a bunch of animated videos you're going to see. Just for this purpose, I did a screenshot. The blue and red represent the victim and the defendant's phone, and the green
No, that's Taylor's Your Business that attacked the other one.
Represents Devier's phone in our operative time period, showing him across town when that last message was sent and throughout the evening. You'll also see the burla that I referenced earlier. As I mentioned, burla leaves actual GPS breadcrumbs like by the foot. So as opposed to just a tower you're hitting on, this is actually showing the track. And you're going to see very clearly when the defendant came and went from the victim's residence on the night of August 6th, as well as when she left on August 7th.
Then why can't they find where she went
After all of
after?
this information is gathered, it's very clear that the defendant did this to the detectives. They make the decision to place her under arrest for murder with use of a deadly weapon. After she is arrested, she is interviewed again. This time they try with two different detectives. Obviously, the statements she gave earlier were inconsistent, and so they send in a couple of other detectives, and you'll hear from that detective as well. In this particular interview, the defendant acknowledged that she realized John was actually moving in, that at the time of the murder, she was giving John a massage on the bed.
Oh my.
While he was lying on his stomach, the defendant got up, walked over to the fireplace and grabbed a large, what she referred to as a stick or maybe a candle holder. It's a large, heavy object. John was lying on his stomach, not a threat, in the midst of a massage, face down, unexpected, and the defendant admits that she returned to the bed, bashed him over the head with that club or stick, and that John...
So it was the adult film star with a candlestick in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't in my clue game.
Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure Colonel Mustard didn't have a long history of doing bow chicka bow bow videos.
Mm-hmm.
limp at that time. You will learn that the defendant refused to acknowledge what she did next. You can make your determination as to why someone might do that as this trial goes on. But she refused to tell detectives what she did with John's head or with the weapon, that those items were never recovered. And so you need to put together the pieces, as the judge just described with the rain example. You will learn that this is the reality of the situation before John was killed, and that the defendant wanted John out of the picture. This is the future that she saw, that she wanted, and the only way to have that future was with John out of the picture. Thank you for your time and attention this week. We truly do appreciate it.
Where's Brandon when we finally have a trial that would be just up his alley? He's, oh, I'm trying to go into the ocean. I can't find my contacts.
Well, you better show up.
But opening statements, too long as always, but not that long, only 40 minutes. It's just, again, they have her confession. You don't have to tell this long story, but American lawyers like to hear themselves talk. So we have her confession, and we knew we would have that because, again, she did have a plea deal. So now we are going to find out from the defense why this was actually absolutely not that bad. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there, in the Your Business case, there was giving head after he was beheaded, but also after he was depened. So,
Is the defense going to give an opening statement?
Yes, we are, Your Honor. And if we could have perhaps 5-minute recess.
5-minute recess.
Why do they need a 5-minute recess? They've been sitting there the whole time.
Well, I don't know. Text messages. And it's more than 5 minutes, I can tell you that.
7239.
Authors of all time, in his first book, first novel, Anna Karenina, wrote, first sentence, all happy families are the same. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. Her Honor asked whether we were going to give an opening statement. An opening statement, as Mr. Giordani had laid out, is a time for each side to stand before you and tell you what the facts are. It's our chance to give you a roadmap and explain to you what we feel the facts and ultimately the truth are. Oftentimes, defense attorneys sit back and wait. Don't want to show anything. Let's see what they've got. This case, we're not doing that. We're going to get right out in front of this case and we're going to tell you what's really going on and what the state and what their investigation is missing. Initially, Mr. Giordani had said, well, buckle up, and I'm telling you, buckle up. You know, oftentimes in the intricacies and the complications of human relations, things get unsavory. Things are immoral. I'm going to be showing you things right now, not in a sense to offend you, to cast blame necessarily on the decedent in this case, but to give you a true picture of what was really going on with this unhappy family. Outward actions and outward statements are clues to motive. And we're going to ask you that through the course of this trial, you keep the idea of motive in mind. Motive authors actions. After the state had learned, the police had learned, concerning the death of Jonathan Willett, they began to conduct a series of interviews. And what's telling through the course of these interviews is what's discussed, what outward statements are made, and how those are clues to motivations. DeVry's interviewed the day of August 7th, 2023. And at the beginning of his interview, he admits that he's been drinking. He claims that upon hearing of his father's death, he'd got his drink on. But what's telling through the course of what he says and what he doesn't say, he's asked. And again, at first, and you can't blame the detectives, they're trying to do the best they can with a fairly complex situation. They're trying to get a root, a feeling of the relationships between the parties. I mean, you've got Jonathan Willett, who's dead. You've got Devyn, the son that's living with the defendant now in this case, Devyn Michaels, and they're trying to grasp what's really going on. You know, what's going on behind closed doors. They struggle in each of the interviews, both with Devyn and with Devyn, to get a feeling of what's going on. Like, what are the relationships? And they're misled, time and time again, by all parties. In this interview, the first of which that Devyn has, they're trying to get a handle on.
Thank you, Karyan, for becoming a member. And Zach says, Happy Family is just number 27 on the Chinese menu. I don't think these are Chinese. I think she is African American. I think Javier is Hispanic. I'm not American, but I think it sounds more Hispanic than Chinese. But what do I know? I'm not a phenologist. But it was his son who did it, or it was because she had to do it. That's what we know. And who came in and asked if they had to go back? That was Judy. Do you need to go back and see the prosecution's opening? No. You can. They were just laying it out. They have a confession from her, and yeah, we have to see where this is going to take us. Victim's mom is Japanese. Oh, interesting. Very Hispanic name for Chinese. Javier, there's no Devia. No, there's no Javier. It's Devia. Yeah, his name is Devia. Don't get on the kid's bad side. She's really watched this trial. That's why she wasn't here last week. And Diane G says, these banners are wiggity, wiggity, wiggity whack. What banners? Saying we are on replays. Please no spoiler. Why is that wiggity, 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 wiggity whack? A Mac Daddy make you jump. A Daddy Maddy make you jump.
Not sure.
I'm not sure which banners are the worst ones.
Yeah.
But I thought they were the upstairs neighbors. I didn't think it was her mom.
Maybe they were adopted.
Jamie. I don't know. Yes, I heard he did it again this morning. He's very nice to me, and I call him an asshole all the time, Jamie. But I call him a good kind of asshole.
Is there a good kind? Really?
Yeah, I think he's a good kind of asshole because I like an aggressive asshole like him. meaning he'll take the battles and he will go out there and get the information. And Zach says, "Where is the dinging? I demand dinging." No, because you would not be able to handle the dinging. I had a dinging sound for the super chats the other day, and Zach found out, so he wanted to break the world.
Oh, that would be kind of annoying.
The super chats are coming in weird. Yes, it's because I have a notification that'll put it on screen just because it doesn't have the same as StreamYard where it reminds you that it has super chats in it. So it's just so everyone knows there is a super chat, and then I'll find out later, oh fuck, I forgot to read this one. That's why I put it that way. I think I need to get them a little bit better. So just so you can see it better when it's, but that's the notification that Zach found out made a ding dong.
This idea of this marriage and relationship, and they asked him, but you're
This is
saying
my
you
morning
guys
stream.
are married more out of convenience, not like you guys actually love each other. His response, yeah, we don't. It's not like that. It's out of convenience. But you guys sleep in the same room? His response, no. He's asked here, or at the home, his response, no. Are you guys intimate at all? His response, no. Devyn is being asked questions who, by the way, you will learn he hated. And he's lying about the relationship that he has with his wife. There was some discussion concerning phones, and I'll tell you any more in this modern society. These are the key of most investigations. In fact, the state has said that's why the Devyn was ruled out. The location data on the phone didn't track that night to the Paladera residence. That's easily solved. It's easily explained. It was left home. That's it. There are other cases that have been of some notoriety that happens. People know now. They track you on your phones. You're going to learn that Devyn knew this and the importance and the significance.
Oh, so they're going to blame Devyn.
Secret.
Okay.
This was no marriage of convenience.
Okay. Well, that
We
turned
have
out.
out here the wedding ring that you'll see in photos that both Devyn and Devyn wore. In fact, Detective Skinner, again trying to grasp this on August 7th, is asking Devyn about the rings. And he's telling me the rings, you guys are saying this is convenience, but rings are like of significance. It shows commitment. She plays it down, as does Devyn. This marriage of convenience is belied by the facts. You have to ask yourself as these facts unfold.
She was pretty. He looks like I don't know what, but she was a pretty lady.
That's what makeup can do for you.
No, but she had more meat on the bone back then. Her face today just looks like she's on drugs, but back then she has a cute smile. I have to say that. Normally we always, oh Jamie, do you know what I did today? Don't tell anyone. I asked Rock because I was looking at that Lindsay Gattani thirst trap picture, and I asked it to analyze to see if she had photoshopped it. And they said the most notable thing is her pregnant belly. I don't think Lindsay Gattani is pregnant, but AI thinks she is.
Oh my God.
It wasn't me. It was AI, Jamie, and I can prove it. I have the screenshot.
Why is Devyn covering for Devyn? And why is Devyn covering for Devyn? This is no sexless union. And again, this isn't to offend, this isn't to shock, it just gives the nature of what's really going on and why that statement was so untrue. I mean, these are pictures taken from their respective phones, and you can see the timestamp.
That's why there's two.
This will be admitted to you, and you will be able to consider this in reaching the appropriate verdict in this case. This participant, this is a voicemail, 42723 in this sexless, non-intimate marriage.
Oh my.
Touching me, kissing my body, kissing yours. I just want some passion tonight, please.
Oh,
These are
my.
photos recovered from her phone that were taken from her phone, 5/17 and 23. And again, they're sexual in nature. This isn't to offend. However, what detectives didn't learn is that this relationship wasn't something that was being frustrated by Jonathan moving in. This relationship had gone on for years before.
The Danish was.
See the picture of Behead, 125, it was modified, access 1227. It goes back 7 years. Driver's license, this is Behead, and if you look and take notice, I mean, this is some years before, he's 6'4". He's 185 pounds, he's a big guy, like his dad. His dad, 6'4", 205 pounds. We'd spoken yesterday, Devyn Michaels was in the porn industry.
Oh.
You know, she's not on trial for morality, she's on trial for murder. She had AKAs, given her line of work. Devyn was into that. He knew that, he appreciated that, he pursued that. And this illicit relationship began before the relationship had ended with his father. It was done behind his back. Text between Devyn and Devyn. See, notice the photo, it's that same photo I showed you, 19-year-old, he's now 20. Girl who had me mesmerized last night. You don't have to change a thing. Like that night was hands down the most sensational feeling I've ever felt since I lost my virginity.
Oh my.
These are expressions of a passionate 20-year-old young man who's in love with a porn star. See the dates? Modified 93-16. That means it was looked at 7/18/26. We've got Debbie Aries 20 here. And I'm going to show you photos to show the identification of what's going on. You've got a penis shot taken from her phone. And you see up in the corner, it's Debbie Aries. So this case, the facts will show and common sense will dictate that this isn't a case about her wanting to be with Debbie Aries. And she killed Jonathan. She's been with Jonathan. What happened on August 7th, 2023 is Debbie Aries was getting kicked out. He was no longer going to be a part of this relationship because the dad he hated, was coming in, not only taking his home, but taking his wife. Again, 2016, and this shows the link. This isn't everything, but we're trying to just present this to you now so you have an idea and you can appreciate the motivations. Tracy, you put the biggest smile on my face. You haven't seen it already. You are the first thing on my mind in the morning, but I can't kiss you in the morning, sadly. But boy, when my lips touch yours, it feels like time stops. For you, my heart races 1,000 miles and never skips a beat. When I have you in my arms, you may as well start a fire in my chest. No one can make me feel like a melting stick of butter, like you at your best. Just wanted to say you truly outdid the rest. 7 years before. Don't worry, at one point I'll be laying next to you, playing with your hair, scratching your back, and whispering something romantic in your ear. Again, the dates are telling. We saw pictures of Jonathan and Devyn and the kids. But if you look at the date here and the time, this is 19-year-old Devyn. Jonathan's not in the picture. Same time frame, you see. Screenshot, 8/23/16. They're a couple. And they're a couple behind Dad's back. Same photo, same time frame, modified 5/9/22. We're coming now to the present. There'd been a long-going, torrid affair, which resulted in a marriage between a son and his father's former girlfriend. This is Devyn receiving a text from Devyn. See, 11/3/21, hope it's good. I was looking, it was good, but I'm looking forward to eating something else later. Her response, Arby's. His, if that's what you call that coochie. Yeah, I guess so too. So it shows that this was consistent.
Don't ruin Arby's.
Pictures
Arby's
of
is delicious.
phone.
God.
You see, modified between looked at 5/15/23. Capture time 5/15/23.
That was underput on that picture.
Again, the date 5/15/23 on Devyn's phone. It was good. This Devyn receiving a text from Devyn. See, 11/3/21, hope it's good. I was looking, it was good, but I'm looking forward to eating something else later. Her response, Arby's. His, if that's what you call that coochie, then yeah, I guess so too. So again, it shows that this was consistent. Pictures of Devyn's phone. You can see modified restraint looked at 5/15/23.
I am offended.
Capture time 5/15/23. Again, the date 5/15/23. I mean, this is clearly an intimate relationship. It's not for the kids. It's not for these perceived medical issues. Devyn is in love with Devyn. Captures on his phone.
You snooze, you lose, Brendan.
You'll hear from Devyn, and we may not have a moment that we discussed yesterday where, I can't take it, I did it. Look at the motivations and when people say what they do. Devyn's 9/14/2023 grand jury testimony. And if I could just ask you a couple more questions about that. Did you and Devyn get married in the traditional sense? And this is under oath in front of a grand jury where there's jurors. It's a formal proceeding, just like a trial. His response, yes, but it was more me helping out with the girls when she couldn't find a babysitter. So I figured, well, we both kind of sat and talked about it. When she has to go to work and can't find a babysitter, I could be there. She also had a whole bunch of medical problems, and it's very expensive to keep the girls at daycare when she's sitting in the hospital, so I would normally be there to watch them. Okay, and I'm sorry to ask, was it an intimate relationship that you were in with Devyn at some point? And now we start seeing, they've got the phones. Metro and the Henderson Police Department are doing their investigations. His response changes, but nonetheless, it's still not truthful. Yes, after the first year, it started to get intimate. They were married November 21st, 2021. So if we're to take Devyn at his word, they got intimate after the first year. I guess it's been November, December of 2022. The lie and the facts show it. Did it remain intimate up until the time of your father's death? Yes. Movement, but still, there's the clues that give way to the secrets that are being concealed and the motive for why. In his initial interview, okay, so then you knew he was moving in, and she told you that you were going to have to move out. This is after he's had a few drinks. Probably a lot. His response, recently, yes. It was kind of a short notice, but yeah, and I mean, I know the person he is, and he's referring to his father. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll deal with it. Okay, and you were going to move out? Did he knew that you lived here, or didn't know that you lived here? His response, no. He knew I lived here. When you look and when you weigh the evidence, you have to ask.
Spire, she was intimate within the first year of being married to his dad. You're forgetting that little. I know it's just a technical detail, but she was intimate with her stepson within the first year of being married to her dad. Again, Brandon will be sending me some links I have to study later.
Two things. Why is he saying these things? Why is he denying knowledge of getting kicked out? And this hot and heavy and sexual relationship that he's having with Devyn. It changes now. 9/12/23. I didn't know that he was going to move in. He's eliminating another motive. I didn't know what they were attempting to get. I didn't know that they were attempting to get remarried, or not remarried, because they were never married, attempting to get married. Again, we do get a glimpse of the truth, but he's denying that he knew that his dad was moving in, and then now he's apparently saying he didn't know they were getting married too. Well, he knew his dad was getting moved in.
It's
And
a
he knew
small
that they were
but
getting
important
married.
part.
He's out. 9/14/2023 grand jury testimony. Again, this is Devyn. Okay, did there come a point in time where you learned that your father was going to move into the address where you were living with Devyn and the two girls? His response? Under oath. I'm unaware of that. Okay, did you become aware of that? After I talked to the detective? Yes. Oh, okay. So that's something you learned after your father's death? His response? Yes. Understood. Was there a discussion about you potentially moving out of the residence? His response? No, sir. Prior to your father's death, no.
Okay, for everyone who might have come in a little later, because I can see there's about 100 people coming in since we started. This case it's been going on since last week. The lady on the stand has confessed she did it. She calls 911, tells them, I think I don't think they were ever formally married, but he's her baby daddy to 2 kids. I think he's dead. They arrive at the scene and they find a corpse with no head. Pretty good chance he's dead. I'm just saying, again, it might be different in Las Vegas because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but still headless corpses are not normally living. She then confesses to all of it, goes to court to sign the plea deal, was set to get 15 years in prison, and then has most likely some kind of mental breakdown and says, I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with it. I want to tell my story. And now they seem to be trying to pin it on her lover, who was the victim's son, because she broke up with the kids, the daughter's dad, and he got custody of the kids. But she then started dating his son from a previous marriage or from a previous relationship. And I think there is another little twist coming up, but I'm not 100% sure. But we talked about pregos earlier. She might have been pregnant at the time as well. With whom's baby, I'm not sure we know. But I spoiled it for you people, so please don't spoil it back.
Stop being a spoiler.
Yeah. Who she started a relationship with when he was underage. No, he was 20 in those pictures. They started when he was 19. So he was of legal age. She's also, just if anyone didn't hear it, she is also a former Cornstar. She cut the head of her former boyfriend who was moving back into the house so the girls could have a family. And she was banging her stepson. This case has it all. And her stepson called her lady parts Arby's.
No.
Yes, she did, Jamie. Don't you lie.
Ugh.
Jamie, don't stop.
Again, it's eliminating
Shame
under
Arby's.
oath. Come over. This is a text that Devyn sent to him 4 days before this incident. See down at the bottom, 8/3/2023. Liar, cheater, it goes on and on. Obviously, there's passion in this non-intimate relationship if you're going to take his word for it. She sends me a text, 8/3/23. I want a divorce. All your shit will be waiting outside for you. 4 days before Dad's moving in. Do not even think about coming back. He tells the detective he had no idea. He had no idea there'd been no discussions of getting booted out of the house. So he's losing a wife and he's losing a home. She states, keep your alcohol. Just stay out of my life. You learn from this witness stand that Devyn had a fair amount in common with the father that he hated. He was a heavy drinker. You know, a buddy of mine was a warden in Arkansas, and he said, we eliminate women, we eliminate booze. I got nobody in my prison. 9/12/23, interview of Devyn. Well, you weren't. You weren't the main suspect. You know what I mean? This is yours. It's a little different than hers. We're here, you didn't do it. To clear you.
What's the ex's name?
His response? Right. Does that make sense? It does. And while the chances of you even being there are so slim that it's just, there's no, that's not even on the radar. These are the detectives that are investigating this case. Actually, they're ignorant of this, what was really going on, the real dynamic of this fairly seedy, buckle-up relationship. Again, he's ruled out and basically not on the radar because he didn't have the phone on him when his dad was killed.
What he?
He killed his father.
Who hang with
He
me?
just left his phone at home when he did that. He's been very clear through his interviews that he worked at home trials. He has extensive knowledge of home security systems. And we all know that most home security systems, there's a phone element to it. It caches on your phone. You have a Ring camera, Arlo, any of those. Phone-based. And Devyn has a substantial amount of technical knowledge. He also installed home entertainment systems. If any of you have had speakers put in, TVs put up, you got tools. Generally a Sawzall, an electronic knife, an electronic saw when it cuts through drywall and through 2x4s. We know how that's at least one of the two instruments that was used to remove his father's head. Again, and I've addressed this, why lie with these on 8/7, then again on 9/12, then lie to the grand jury on 9/14. Motives, author actions, outward statements betray secrets. He's repeatedly...
Oh, the former boyfriend people are asking about is the Robert Baker, who is convicted of unaliving his girlfriend, her girlfriend's husband. Oh. She was married to Robert Barker, who was a former Cornstar, who stabulated his girlfriend's husband, Fabio Cementielli. Jeepers Christ.
His motivation
Thank
in the
you
course of this
for
investigation.
noticing.
And she's been complicit, whether she knew or not.
Back in the
She's
day, my
complicit
mods
in
were-
this. We have Devyn covering for Devyn, and we have Devyn covering for Devyn. Here she is. This, and again, this is just scratching the surface, but these are photographs that are captured on Devyn's phone, just to give you an idea. And there's a long list. We could be here for much longer than we're going to. You know, he's not on any cameras. Well, yeah, that's what he does for a living. He's aware of computer security systems. He installs them. He's aware of the angles, what they pick up, and what they do. And it goes on and on. But like I said, I won't keep you here for the rest of the afternoon, but these are all, and this is just scratching the surface of what's captured on his phone. I mean, this is sophisticated stuff, and he has sophisticated knowledge. He's taking photographs of all this as part of his work. This is his handiwork. And there's a lot of them. I would submit to you that the facts will show and common sense will dictate he knows how to stay under the radar. He lived at the home where his father was killed. It got too bad between him and his dad. He refers to that house in Paladera residence with Yoko, her significant other, and his dad, and Andrea, Jonathan's prior girlfriend, was there. He talked about it being a shit show, a madhouse. He lived there for more than a couple of years. He knew how to get into that house and get out of that house. I'll thumb through these. And again, this is captured on his phone. There's a couple of tools back
A
there.
Cornstar.
Drill. This is the home that Devyn and Devyn were living at prior to him getting kicked out.
Yes.
It's on Porcupine. The person who lives there knows how to escape detection. Leave the front door, come around, you're on Rebecca Street. There's an even simpler route for a guy that's 6'4", 195 pounds. Right out the back door.
Well, with that mom, he probably went in through the back door.
What it looks like we're 30 in. Pretty nice. All
This
this
is
like
there.
that. Yeah.
The results of the autopsy, homicidal violence, there's no real cause. No one knows for sure. Could have been a shooting. These are pictures on, and there's more, but these are just to let you see what was captured on Devyn's phone. If you look at this is telling, look at the date. 8/7/23. Modified that, it was looked at. We looked at that. These are swords that were found in the Porcupine residence. The police went in and searched the residence on 8/7/23. This was the residence that Devyn was living at with Devyn. That's some swords on the floor. There has been a lack of investigation. And again, this isn't bad cop, good cop. No, these are good men trying to do the best they can. They make mistakes. They've been repeatedly lied to concerning the dynamic of a fairly complicated and salacious relationship. 2 instruments at least used to decapitate Jonathan, 1 manual tool and 1 power tool. Neither recovered. Coroner examination, tool mark analysis reveals characteristics consistent with the use of 2 tools. A hand-powered knife and mechanically powered.
Yes, her ex is also a convicted unaliver. And I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden everything just went off screen.
Saw. Something when someone does homes installations, security systems, entertainment systems would have and know how to use. Listen, the mechanics to decapitate a human being are difficult. I mean, you've got this complex systems, you've got the musculature, you have the veins, the arteries, you've got the trachea, you've got the vertebrae, very thick ligaments and cartilage. It takes a lot.
It is actually a big red button.
Hand-powered saw can do it. What's interesting, and you will see, and it will play out, there's no blood spatter in the room consistent with use of power tool. Apparently there's an assumption that this decapitation occurred on the bed. I submit to you when you see the evidence, it's not consistent with that. It's got a power saw going in the neck there, and you're cutting through it, there's empty stuff all over the place. I didn't find anything. No cuts or markings to linens, the blanket, or the mattress. Devyn is 5'3" and weighs 130 pounds. I'm like 120.
Yes.
And again, and this will be for the state, because it's the state and the state alone that has to prove this case. Defense doesn't have to prove anything. There had been surveillance cameras. I've been at the Paladura since 2021, and they were only taken down that evening. Jonathan was moving. We'll probably learn through the course of this trial who installed them. Safe to say it was probably Devyn. Ring was never subpoenaed for these videos. We've heard that perhaps it was around account information. The Michaels, Devyn Michaels' residence, she was a homeowner. The home phone records were never subpoenaed. And see, this is significant because you can see on Devyn's phone that on the night of, and we don't know when this happened, wee hours of the morning, there had been calls from their home, repeatedly. She was out late. She was with Jonathan. And at least for a time, Devyn was home with the kids. In fact, the same thing had happened the night before. She had been with Jonathan until 1 a.m. the previous day as well, when Devyn was presumably home. Probably drinking. There's no blood or DNA analysis of the swords that porcupine ring, but again, too, we don't take issue with it. It's probably a sawzall or another hand-powered saw was used. No gun residue testing of either Devyn or Devyn. No gun residue testing of Paladura. No blood on Devyn's clothes when Yoko sees her at 1 a.m. It was actually Yoko's habit to come down from downstairs.
Jamie, just for your viewing pleasure in the holiday season.
What?
Devyn Michaels, Forbidden Hearts, A Stepson's Vow, When Family Ties Become Forever or Fatal.
Let me see this. So gross.
Someone said it wouldn't be made into a Hallmark movie, so I did.
Nothing's room. The room was moving on.
Not a Hallmark movie. That's
And through the cell phone analysis, you're going to see that it was somewhat of a shit show with that house. It was a very cantankerous relationship between Jonathan and his mother. Don't drink, you're going to get pulled over. The autopsies results will show that fatty liver, the guy's a heavy drinker. He had GHB in his system, he had marijuana in his system. You know, the issue about the car keys and the wallet, Social Security guard being at the house that he's moving into, given not only Devyn's concern, but Yoko's concern. For most people, that may be a big deal, significant. Where this guy, getting loaded, driving regularly, got to take his keys. Cell phone, part of the bunch. He was moving into that residence, and that's where the police found these things. That isn't evidence of motive, not evidence of murder. There is no blood on Devyn's clothes when she goes through the CVS drive, through the pharmacy. Their kids were home. They were home the prior nights. They were living with Devyn. There had been a custody dispute, but that had been now resolved through the rekindling of their relationship. She lied about the sex that she was having with Devyn, or Devyn lied about the sex she was having with Devyn, and Devyn lied about the sex she was having with Jonathan. There's no blood on the clothes. The investigators recovered from Devyn's house. There's no blood on her. And I'm going to show you the video in just a few minutes that the state had showed. The still. This is the night before he is dead and decapitated. Watch that. This is her. And look at her shoes for a minute, please. Her shorts and her shirt. He's smiling. They're adjusting the clothes. And bear with me, this is about 1 minute and 20 seconds, but we want you to watch the whole thing. There's Jonathan. And she had spent this day with him and the girls. They were going school shopping. They were going Burlington. They were moving in things. The girls were there for good. And again, what motivation does she have?
Jonathan is the victim. Devyn is the stepson. And Devyn, with 47 different alibis, is
A-list.
Jamie, you something. I'm going to
What?
mute you. I don't know why Jamie all of a sudden had an echo sending it back to me. But Jonathan is the dead person. Devyn is her husband and is her boyfriend and his stepson. And Devyn is the accused.
She had the girls all summer and was going to continue. She tried to register them at school the next morning, but she wasn't able to. Unbeknownst to her, he was dead. She went back the next day and tried to register them. Look at his face. They're smiling at each other. He's smiling at her. Thanks, Mike. Did you just rewind that a little bit? Thank you. Here we go. Look at his face. Thank you. I'll do skip something just a second. Can we forward this just towards the end of it where Devyn's walking out? Again, look at the shoes. And this is before this beheading that the state's saying that she did. There goes Jonathan, and there she goes. Look at her shoes. Look at her shirt.
What are we looking at? She had tennis shoes and a white shirt on.
Those are the shorts. CBS 227. After she leaves the Paladura house, the house that Jonathan is moving out of to move in with her, for them to be a family and rekindle this relationship, I can't have you believe that she did that, stopping and picking up a prescription for her daughters. And she does that. She goes tell
This is defense opening statements.
the police she went to a 24-hour pharmacy. She had to get medication for girls at school. This is her rolling up. See, it's 228. If you look at the shirt, same shirt. And this is after she's presumably gone through this arduous task of heading Jonathan.
It's a white tank top in a hot state. Jamie, how many white tank tops do you own? You're not a tank top girl. I don't know why I have a feedback on you.
I don't know. I haven't changed a thing.
Can you try and disconnect and come back? That was weird. But if you lived out there, and is it possible to think that you could get blood on one tank top and then take on another tank top right after? I don't know. Maybe something back when there was this glitch, something happened with Jamie's audio. I don't know. No, I didn't blame Jamie. I was just asking if she could, because sometimes her earbuds does something weird and feeds stuff back. Now Jamie's not come back. Now she's mad at me. Hey, Gata.
She has the wherewithal to get a prescription after supposedly beheading a man. She arrives home shortly after that and is picked up on the cameras. This is the home the police enter and photograph hours after this murder is alleged to have occurred. See down here on the right? See the shoes? Black shoes, white soles, middle of it. I think we focused up on one, but there's actually two there. These are the shoes that were worn when the man was beheaded hours before. There's another pair of shoes matching those that we saw in that video from Carol Hurst at 10 o'clock the night before. You know, you don't have to like her. You don't have to like the choices that she made. Benjamin Franklin said that facts are stubborn things, and the state has the facts that they have. Look at the evidence. Look at the motivations. And find her not guilty. Thank you.
How you doing?
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please state your full name and then spell it for the record.
Full name is Marquis Cooper, M-A-R-Q-U-E. Last name Cooper, C-O-O-P-E-R.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you employed?
I don't think they were legally married. I think they just played marriage, and that's because the defense talked about the rings wasn't a big deal.
By City of Henderson.
What's your position there?
I am a patrol officer.
How long have you worked in that capacity?
For 8 years.
I'll be right back.
And what are some of the duties of a patrol officer? Could you inform the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that may not know?
Yeah, for patrol officers, typically responding for calls for service, it can be something as simple as a civil dispute or as a shooting. So just whatever calls for service that come through the computer.
And as a patrol officer, are there certain areas that you're assigned to?
Yes, so Henderson's separated by the North Division, West and East, was assigned to the North Division. And in those, also in those North, they're separated by what they call beats or areas, which is, they're numbered on ours, it's 1 through 7 for the North.
And you said which area command were you responsible for on around the time frame of August 7th, 2023?
That was a North Area Command.
What types of call for service would you go out to and respond to?
As far as on that day or just in general?
Just in general.
It could be a gamut of things. I mean, like I said, a complaint, a simple complaint of neighbor dispute to a shooting to petty larceny. We had them all there, so a lot of petty larceny and things of that nature. So it could be anything you can respond to.
Then turning your attention to August 7th of 2023, were you working as a patrol officer at that time?
Yes.
And which area command was that again?
The North Area Command.
North Area Command. Were you then dispatched to a call at 2698 Paladura Drive on that date?
Yes.
Around what time did that call come out?
Don't know the exact time, but I roughly think it was around 8:50-ish.
Fair to say around 8:40 in the morning?
Yes.
And what was the nature of the call as you understood it at that time?
At that time, what I had was the CAD notes from the computer, and it just said that a mother found her son, and she saw blood, and I think the other detail was he didn't have a face. That's what the call note stated.
And then after getting that information, did you then respond to that Paladura address?
Yes.
Did you respond with anyone?
Yes, there was another officer dispatched with me, and I also responded with the Henderson Fire Department.
Do you recall which officer was with you?
Officer Flores, and then more eventually showed up after.
Okay, but initially it's you and Officer Flores that respond to this Paladura address?
Yes, ma'am.
When you responded to the address, were you in a marked patrol vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. How is it that you responded to the scene? And specifically what I'm wondering is, did you roll code?
Initially I started code, but I was close by, and then I shut down just because I was close by, and it was more safety reasons.
Can you inform us what rolling code means?
That is lights and sirens.
How long did it ultimately take you to get to the scene once the call came out, would you say?
I don't know the exact
Was
time.
it hours, minutes?
No, it was a few.
Your Honor, permission to admit State's Exhibit 2 that I believe has been previously stipulated between the parties for admission.
Absolutely, no objection.
Okay, State's 2 will be amended?
Your Honor, permission to publish that exhibit?
Yes.
Sir, are you able to see that in front of you at that computer screen?
Yes.
Okay. And what does that appear to be?
You sorry, what'd you say?
In front of you, what does that appear to be on the computer screen?
My body cam footage.
Okay. And specifically looking at the top right-hand position, do we see a date there?
Yeah.
And what does that date say?
8721E3.
And would that be August 7th, 2023?
Yes.
And is there a timestamp at the start of this video?
Yes, 8:46 a.m.
And about 13 seconds?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and play the video from the beginning. And specifically fast forward to about the minute mark.
Thank you, Dumpster Juice, for loving my chat and my cool ass chat and loving me. Thank you. And he had a very blank impression. Well, some would say you couldn't really determine what the look of his face was.
Publishing at 53 seconds.
Good morning.
And I'm going to pause it there at 108. That siren we heard, is that your rolling code, as you would call it?
At this point, I was just trying to get around so I think there were some cars blocking. I was trying to get around to.
Understood. Playing again from 108.
TRS 52 visual. Good. I can do one photograph from a permit. Call in state the numbers on service. I love it.
Okay, thank you. Go for it.
TRS 52.
And I'm going to pause the video at 1 minute 36 seconds. So when you approach the scene, the 2698 Paladura Drive, are there already people at the residence?
Yes, the Henderson Fire Department, and there was somebody else. I don't know who that was.
But it was a fire department response prior to your response?
Yes.
Okay. And is this you obviously walking towards the residence?
Yes.
Playing at 1 minute 36 seconds. And I just want to stop it here at 142. Is there anything unique about sort of the garage area that you saw when you were walking up to the residence?
That it was just slightly cracked.
Playing at 142. And I'm stopping here at 159. Did you hear something in the background when you arrived?
I mean, a dog barking.
Okay. Do you recall the dogs being in the house at the time?
I don't recall if they were in the house.
Playing at 159.
Okay. So let's lock this down then.
Stopping it at 2 minutes 19 seconds. Was that your voice there, sir?
Yes.
And what did you say in that video?
If it was missing head, let's lock it down.
Okay. And what does lock it down mean?
Meaning there's now a crime scene, so we kind of push everybody out and freeze that area to limit access to the house, essentially.
The initial response was not necessarily a response to a crime. Is that correct?
Not initially.
It was to see, essentially respond to what was being called into as someone that needed potential medical aid. Is that right?
Yes.
But once you saw this, you determined it appeared to be a crime scene and you locked it down.
Yes.
Playing again at 219.
Hey, lock this down. Let's FI down.
And I'm going to stop right there at 2 minutes 32 seconds because I hear another term that we may not know. What does FI mean?
FI is a field interview, so essentially we'll gather information, name, date of birth, things of that nature, it's a field interview of people involved.
Okay, and that was because you had seen, I believe we saw earlier in the video, 2 individuals that appeared to have lived in the residence that you wanted to do an interview of. Is that right?
Yes.
Playing again at 2:32.
Sarge 142, are you around?
Stopping the video at 2 minutes 50 seconds. I hear you on your radio. What are you doing at that point?
At this point, I'm just making sure, due to the nature of the call, making sure the supervisor is on his way.
And who was your supervisor that you were reaching out to?
Sergeant Shields.
And is that typical protocol to reach out to a supervisor?
Chris Mullen, there's no head, so yeah, I think that, yeah.
In
Yes.
this type of situation?
Yes.
Okay. And when you went into the room, what were your initial observations of what you saw? Clearly you saw a deceased person, is that right?
Yes.
Thank you, Cyberchick, for guesting my channel yesterday. Amazing show, and thank you for sharing all of your knowledge with us.
Anything unique about the body?
I think initially, obviously, that it was decapitated, and there wasn't much blood initially that I figured it would be, and also there was like a strong, like, chemical smell inside that room. Was the first initial things that were surprising to me.
Were you able to see what was used to cut off the head or kill the person?
No.
Playing at 2 minutes 50 seconds.
Copy. Hey, we're locking it down until we get there. No, 71. Hey, when you get here, can you grab a crime scene log?
And stopping at 3 minutes 8 seconds. What is a crime scene log?
Crime scene log is, once we determine it's a crime scene, it's pretty much a document to list out who enters or who exits that crime scene.
So in this video, you're essentially asking for one of those, is that right?
Yes.
Playing at 3:08. And I'm pausing at 3:11. Are those the 2 individuals that you saw in the home that appear to be residents?
Yes.
Were you able to, through your investigation, identify those 2 individuals?
Yes.
Okay. And was that Yoko Willette and Masao Yoshida?
Yes.
Playing at 3:11. And I'm stopping there at 3:24. We hear in the video that it appears to be only those 2 individuals as well as the deceased that was in the home at that time. Is that right?
Yes.
Playing at 3:24. Stopping the video at 3:55. So essentially, after you are locking down the scene, calling your sergeant, and the investigation is underway, what do you do at this point?
At this point, we're just waiting for the sergeant to get here. We're eventually going to set up some crime scene tape and start that crime scene log.
Court's indulgence. Your Honor, the state will pass the witness. Carl?
Yes, thank you. Officer Cooper, you had said something on your direct. You had testified that obviously you see that this body is missing a head, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you had said that there was not as much blood as you thought there would be, correct?
Yes.
Based upon experience.
In this situation, no, just from being on different types of critical incidents.
Fair to say that there wasn't as much blood there as you thought there would be. Perhaps that head was removed somewhere else, correct? Different spot.
One more time, sorry?
I said fair to say that based upon you not seeing as much blood as you thought there would be, reasonable assumption is maybe that body was decapitated somewhere else other than where you saw it laying in bed, correct?
I'm not sure if it was moved or what, just on my initial it didn't seem.
Okay. You'd also testified that when you came into the residence, the smell hit you. I think your testimony was it was a strong smell, correct?
Yes.
Now, there were 2 other occupants at 849 when you arrived. It was Yoko and the couple that was staying there, correct?
Yes.
Was there ever an indication or a statement made to you by either one of them concerning the strong smell in the house?
No.
No. Thank you. No further questions.
Mspire asked, why did the headless man get promoted? Because he was always ahead of the game. Maybe too soon. It's never too soon, Mspire. Remember, this was said on Thursday.
No further questions from the state, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have any questions for this witness? Okay. Seeing no response, sir, you're excused. Thank you very
Oh, they can ask questions. I like that when the jury gets to ask questions. And day 1, part
years
2.
on our SWAT
That starts in the middle of it. That sounds
team
weird, but
is a train.
let's do this and then do this. Jamie, you're welcome to come back. I don't know what happened. I didn't throw you out, Jamie. I just wanted you to reconnect. Maybe they saw all was hot and cauterized the vein. Didn't they say there was blood on the bed where his head was supposed to be, but there was not enough, as much as again, taking off a head should leave a lot of blood, but you can also unalive someone, let them be unalived, and then you can do the dirty job. Because as soon as the ticker starts going, it won't go everywhere. That's the thing. That's the thing. I could believe that could be the why there is not a lot of blood. If, let's say, she unalived him at 10 o'clock and she goes to the CVS and gets her stuff at 2 a.m. and then she comes back and says, oh, fuck, he died. She just knocked him over the head to make him unconscious. He's been dead for a couple of hours. The ticker has stopped. The blood has kind of settled. And then you go to the job. There will be blood, but there won't be spraying blood everywhere because, again, there's no pressure in the system. As soon as the heart stops, the pressure goes away. No. She is the defendant. The stepson hadn't moved out, no. Well, apparently she was yelling at him a couple of days before that he could keep his alcohol and just get away from her. Oh, let's try and see if Jamie comes back. Hello, Jamie.
Hi.
I don't know what happened. The echo
I
went
don't
away.
either.
Thank you so much for coming
okay.
back.
Well, sorry, the minute I logged off, there was like chaos ensued. The dog
Oh,
wanted to go
okay.
out and all that stuff, so
I'm just thinking, oh, Jamie got mad now.
no.
Um,
Get it all out of the way.
Not any blood, as much blood. They said there was not as much blood as you would expect. That's how he said it. Oh, there's 2 spots of blood on the sheets. They will show it in the pictures. Interesting. But they would also, if they decapitated him there with a saw, you would have, a saw makes a lot of mess out of things. Blood coagulates inside you after you're dead for a while. I'm going to guess that the choppy chop happened hours after the deadly smexy. I would agree with Edward Scott. That would probably, but we'll have to hear from the medical examiner. Emspire, oh my, his head is missing. Did I do that? Emspire's dad jokes are getting better. That was an Urkel reference, Dean. I know you're too young to get that one.
I'm aware of Urkel.
I wonder if he was badly beaten to his in the face. I think most likely in the back of the head. The story was she was giving him a massage and then grabbed a candlestick, a pole, something, and smacked him. So probably in the back of the head.
That's what she said she did while he was laying on his stomach, so he had no idea it was coming.
Yeah. I don't know. Have they checked the shed? Lots of people have heads in the shed these days. I have no heads in my shed. I'll say that. Full disclosure, I have no heads. I recently discovered why these trials doesn't bother me as much. I didn't know that most people actually visualize pictures. I have aphantasia, so no mental images. It helps a lot, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm a visual learner, so I will have to try and do it the head way. And Dumpster Juice says, there once was a man with a head. Yeah, it's got all the hallmarks.
Oh, the headless jokes.
I guess I thought the blood would still come out from the open wounds just from gravity. There will still be some spillage if it happens within a reasonable time. It's not going to be, but it's just not going to be spraying out everywhere like you see in a horror movie, that there will be blood everywhere, because there's no pressure on your system. As soon as your heart stops, the pressure goes away. It's your heart that keeps the pressure going because it has to send it through your entire body. So as soon as it stops, the blood will seep into the tissue as well. So it's a depressurized system. So yes, there will be spillage, but it will be nowhere the same amounts of as if you got decapitated. It will just shoot out because there's pressure on the system.
Coordinator, ATL on the team, assistant team leader, and then from there I tested out and promoted to sergeant and went to patrol as a patrol sergeant, and currently I'm assigned to our...
Thank you, Jay Gard. I like your direct communication and support your podcast, even though I don't always know the people you speak about. Well, I try to speak about a lot of people, but thank you for coming by and supporting.
Police Academy, in charge of training all the new recruits
Danny,
that are coming into the department.
Danny.
That's an awesome responsibility, right?
Yes.
So then turning your attention to August 7th, 2023, were you working as a patrol sergeant at that time?
Patrol sergeant, yes.
Okay. And what are some of the duties of a patrol sergeant?
Well, patrol sergeants, they typically have approximately 10 patrol officers assigned to them, and you have a specific area of the city that you're responsible for. This was a North Area Command, and you basically monitoring calls that they're going on. The patrol officers are actively patrolling their areas, responding to 911, emergency, non-emergency calls, and if they need assistance from a supervisor, they'll call you to the scene. Supervisors also monitoring the radio. If you think there's a call that may be out of the ordinary and they may need assistance, you'll start heading that way. If there's any critical incidents, you're typically one of the first supervisors on scene to get it stabilized until a watch commander can come out and take over.
So then turning your attention to that date, was there sort of an out of the ordinary scene that you responded to?
Yes.
And was that at 2698 Paladura Drive in Henderson?
Yes.
What was the nature of the call as you understood it?
Well,
Is that better, Shell,
it
with
came
an
in
S?
as a medical call. Mom called and said that her son was injured and that he was bloody. And I recall like the dispatchers tried giving CPR instructions, and just the mom stated, however she stated, that she refused. The call note said that she refused CPR because he had no neck or head, but there was a lot of blood. So it was a medical call, basically. We were responding to unknown medical call.
Okay. So you respond to the address, is that right?
Yes.
And who was already there at the time? Do you know?
The firefighters and one of my guys, Officer Cooper. I think there was a couple officers. Typically the patrol officers, because they're out and about proactively patrolling, they'll get there first, then they'll call me to the scene. So when I got there, fire was on scene. A few of my guys were on scene. They kind of established a crime scene. I met them outside. They gave me a quick brief and went in.
So at the time you arrived then, the scene was locked down as a crime scene, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. What did you notice when you got to the scene?
More like outside, inside?
Yeah, let's start with the outside. So starting from the outside, when you arrived to the scene, did you notice anything of note, at the front of the home?
So I noticed the garage was partially open, maybe, 3 feet, the exterior roll-up garage door. And at the front door, there was older female and male sitting outside talking to one of my officers. And the front door was open. So I just went up and started talking to them.
When you say talking to them, talking to the male and female at the front door?
Yes.
And were they identified as Yoko Willette and Yoshida Masao?
Yes, it ended up being the person in the room. It was their mom and I believe her boyfriend.
So the deceased's mother?
Yes.
And the mother's boyfriend?
Yes.
So you walk into the front door of the scene, walk us through what you saw, what you heard, things of that nature.
Okay, so I go in and my officer is escorting me back. So we walk into like the living room area, go into the kitchen, take a few steps down, and come back this way. It's like a converted living room area maybe that was converted into a bedroom. And the bed is to our right. And then laying on the bed was a body, the deceased. And then, do you want me to explain that more? Or?
Was there anything you noticed that you smelled when you were inside the room?
Well, initially, but we didn't know what it was until later. But you could kind of taste and smell like a little burning that's not common walking into people's houses.
So you described it as a burning, like a chemical burning smell. Was that right?
Yeah, like you could kind of taste it a little bit, and you could definitely felt it in your nostrils. But it wasn't really strong when we first went in. As strong as it seemed like it got stronger the longer we were there.
And more in the bedroom area?
Yes.
And you may have already said this, but was there anything unique about the body when you saw it?
Well, so like I said, I came from the kitchen, down the stairs, came around. The bed is here, and the body was laying face down on the bed, and the shoulders were kind of, if the body was laying this way, face down, the shoulders were kind of even with the edge of the bed. And I think it was partially wrapped in a blanket. And just things that I noticed, there didn't appear to be like signs of any struggle or anything. Like there wasn't a bunch messed up. It was just kind of laying there, like the arms weren't moved or anything. So it was pulled to the edge, and it just, in my mind, I thought, man, that was just a really clean cut, and then there was no head.
So there was this headless body, and I was laying on the bed. And I was thinking, that's good handiwork. That's a clean cut. That's not every day you see that clean of a cut. Yes, Nosy Rosie, this is part 2 of the first day. We'll do day 1 today, and then day 2 tomorrow will be a little delayed. So we'll get through it eventually. But so far, it's been a good day.
And then,
Now, you had mentioned the body was laying on the bed. Is that right?
The body was laying on the bed, yes.
And was it on the body's stomach?
Yes,
just
the
so.
stomach laying face down. Yeah, the back was facing up.
Okay. And where the head would have been off the bed. Is that right?
I hate these type of prosecutors. He just told that story, and now she's asking exactly the same questions that he just answered. Stop. Listen to what your witness is saying instead of going through the motion. It's the Adam Lally effect. So who are you? I'm detective this and that. I have 2 children that's 6 and 8 years old. Do you have any children? Shut up.
Yes, like I said, the shoulders were kind of in line right with the edge of the bed. So the head would have been out here.
Did you see any blood at the scene?
I did see blood, but just from experience over the years, like you've seen people shot or stabbed or other lose a limb on a motorcycle accident or other type of trauma to the body, you would expect to see a lot more blood. And that was something that stuck in my head, is like, there's blood, but I would expect to see a lot more, especially under where the head would have been. Like, I don't know if like maybe something was put there or something to collect. It's what it appeared. Like maybe something was put there to collect the blood, because there was just what appeared to be not as much blood that you would imagine being there.
So no blood spattering, things of that nature that you might normally see.
I remember
Haystack is right on it.
Blood
Manya,
on
you
the
read
mattress
it.
to the right of the body, and then a small I mean, I don't know if that's small.
So Devyn is claiming that Stepson did it. That's what I hear from the defense, but she has pled guilty to it before, and there will be a testimony that's not good for her.
I think there's a small amount of blood on the floor. And then, yeah, looking around, the wall wasn't very far away. You would expect to see some type of cast off, splatter, spatter, blood anywhere, but it appeared like a very clean scene, other than the body, the blood, the little blood.
Now, the color of the blood, was it unusual?
Yeah, typically, I mean, blood is pretty obvious, like we've all seen blood, but this one wasn't like the typical fresh red blood. It was more of like a black color.
And that's not normal based on your training and experience from what you've seen with bloody incidents.
Based on my experience and being at other crime scenes, with, you know, the time lapse, no, not common and not consistent with what I've seen in the past.
Now, you mentioned to us that you have 28 years of law enforcement experience.
Yes.
Was this the first decapitation you responded to in your career?
I was thinking about that. I can't recall another decapitation.
Something you would probably remember if you did see it before, right?
Yes.
So it's not your everyday event that you see something like this, right?
No.
Did you inspect
The son lover has not been charged with anything.
any other rooms other than that bedroom where the body was found?
Yes, so after seeing that and just thinking about the blood, I went around. So if you go around the bed, back there's kind of like a little hallway that led into a bathroom. So I walked into the bathroom, and before I went to the bathroom, I remember having to step over 2 bottles of like cleaning, liquid cleaning bottles, some kind of Clorox or that type of thing, bottles laying on the carpet prior to getting to the bathroom. So stepped over those, went into the bathroom because I was wondering maybe if there was blood in the sink or blood in the bathroom or anything, but nothing appeared. There didn't appear to be any blood in there, and didn't appear to be any signs of struggle in there either. So the other things that I noticed that the mom had said outside, I confirmed what she had told me, where she said when she came downstairs, she thought it was weird that the dogs were locked out, and the interior garage door, the single door, was propped open, and then the exterior door was rolled up. So when I came out of the bathroom, I noticed that the interior garage door was propped open, the exterior roll-up door was part of the way up.
Okay. Now I want to turn back to the body that you saw. Did you notice anything peculiar emanating from the body?
It was actually pointed out by one of my officers on the scene. I was kind of by the foot of the bed, I think, and he said, "Hey, Sarge, this guy is smoking." And I was like, "What?" He said, "This guy is smoking. There's smoke coming from underneath him." So I go over there and see he's shining his flashlight. You could see kind of smoke coming off of the body, or what appeared to be some smoke coming off the body. So I told my officer, I said, "Hey, get a camera and start taking pictures of this scene," because in my mind I'm thinking, if this catches on fire, we need to get as much photos as we can before we lose the scene to a fire and then firemen shooting water all over everything. So let's try and get as much photos as we can. So then we get closer and he's shining his light, and then you can really start. It was coming, you know, like I said, if he's laying face down on his shoulders, it was more coming from like under him, around like
from like the chest area.
Yeah, from between like the bed and him. So that's why I didn't know, all right, is this something that's going to start on fire? But then once we got closer, taking a closer look, that's when you could really smell, and it burned inside of your nose, and you could really taste it. So I'm like, hey, we got to clear the guys out of there.
There were chemicals found. We saw that in the opening statement. I think it was some kind of bleach, and I don't know what the other thing was. But
ammonia, I think.
Yeah, but it's very common if you clean your bathroom that you can mix cleaning products and you can actually make chlorine gas, which is the one they used in the First World Kerfuffle. That's very easy because chlorine and I can't remember what. I'm not going to figure it out because I probably shouldn't say stuff like that on the YouTube. But if they mix together, you will get a chlorine gas and it eats your lungs. So that's a very easy mistake to make. So potentially, if she poured stuff over him to cover tracks or something like that, she could have mixed a chemical component that make it do make a chemical burn. Yeah, you call it mustard gas, but it's chlorine gas.
Oh boy.
My garage door will retract back up to anything if anything is in the way. Jamie's won't. She tried to kill Iris exactly in this way.
Yeah. I killed my sensor, so.
Oh, it's bleach and ammonia. Yeah, that makes well, I shouldn't say that on YouTube. So, but if you do those, it'll make mustard gas, and you will. It'll just dissolve your lung tissue. It's really, really dangerous. But it's those two things that you use a lot in your everyday cleaning products. So you have to be careful mixing stuff like that.
This is some kind of chemical that's mixing.
Okay. Did you eventually then get a statement from Yoko Willette, the deceased mother?
Not, I talked to her, but I
Okay.
didn't get like an official statement like a detective.
You spoke with her.
I
Is
spoke
that right?
with her.
What did she share with you?
Blow your nose.
She shared with me that she last saw them.
And it's not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted, it's just for the investigation and what led to the investigation.
I hate they use that. Well, it's not the truth of the matter asserted. No, but you want it in there. So
All the lieutenant. So after taking this statement or speaking with Yoko
Yes.
and conducting that initial investigation, did you eventually call the lieutenant to come out?
Yes, that the patrol supervisor. Yeah, that's your job. You get there, make sure the crime scene is locked down, taped off, so all the evidence and the crime scene's preserved. Then that's why I spoke to her to get a brief story, so I could report up my chain. So once I get the story, my guy's observations, the story from mom, I put that together. I call my watch commander, and then we make notifications to get detectives and crime scene to come out to the scene to hand over the investigation to them.
And did you learn through your investigation that there were children as well involved?
Yes.
Okay. And were you attempting to locate those children?
Yes, and that was because the mom had, and part of my conversation with her said that he was supposed to take the kids to school.
Okay. And I believe you mentioned there was crime scene tape that was put up around the residence to lock it down as well.
Yes.
Okay. And while you were waiting for the lieutenant as well as other investigators to arrive, did you also still investigate the scene and look around for different things of evidentiary value?
Yes, the male's truck was outside, so we moved the crime scene tape around the truck, noticed.
Carly, yeah, you missed quite a bit. The opening statements was very informative. Let me just do a rundown for you. We lost 5 people, so they got away. Now Carly was here. Opening statements that the prosecution said, yeah, we know she did it because she admitted to doing it. The state, the defense is trying to blame it on the victim's son, who is also her lover. And the victim is her baby daddy's. It's not, the son is not with her. She has 2 daughters with the victim, but she's then banging his son. And she used to be a corn model. So there's a lot of things going on. And she used to, apparently when she was 15, she was dating another corn model who also unalived someone. There's a lot of things going on in this case.
I think what we thought there were spots on the driveway that we thought may be evidence. So yeah, and at that point I kind of break away once it's secure, and then I start kind of getting my thoughts and the information put down, because when the detectives and crime scenes show up, it's my responsibility to give them a brief when I turn over the scene.
And as part of your duties as well, did you initially send individuals, other officers, to canvass for different surveillance footage as well?
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of standard protocol on the crime scenes. Once you have everything secure, your extra officers go out, try and find witnesses. Other officers go and try and video surveillance that may have caught something.
So you mentioned that you were putting together a brief for this case, is that right?
Yes.
And as part of that brief, is there an event number and a report number assigned to the case?
Yes.
Can you tell us the difference between the two?
Well, the event number is a longer number. It's the year, the month, the day, and then the number of calls in that 24-hour period. So at midnight, the next police emergency call that comes in will be year, month, day 0001. The 10th call will be 0010. So that's how the event numbers cover the 24-hour period of police work. And then the report number covers the annual period of police work for police reports taken. So it'll start with the year and then the number of report it is. So January 1st, 1201, the first police report taken will be, for next year, will be 26, 4 zeros and a 1.
Okay. So starting then with the event number, in this case, do you have a reason to dispute that the event number was HP 230807000355?
No.
Okay. And the report number for this case, do you have a reason to dispute it being 23-15229?
No.
Does that sound correct?
Yeah.
And so while you're doing your briefing, eventually detectives and crime scene analysts eventually show up to the scene. Is that right?
Yes.
And after they showed up, what did you do?
So they showed up. I let them know about the chemical smell, the possible hazard, and the smoking. And then, like I said, I give them a brief. Basically, I write up. It has the report number, location, the rescue that was on scene, their information, the initial patrol officers that made entry with them, the time they made entry, then the information of the deceased, the information of the other people in the home. It's just basically like an overview of what we have. And then that there was no obvious weapon on the scene, and just kind of some of the abnormal, typical things that we talked about already.
And so after you give this briefing, does your role cease at that point?
Yes, that's when, if they have any questions, they would ask questions. Then I do a walkthrough with them, showing them where my officers went, what we did, things that we thought may possibly be important, and then turn over the scene to them, and then we move out, and then they handle it. So I would then look at my staffing and see how many people do I need here for this. For sure, one for the crime scene log up front, and then I start clearing guys off the call to go clear up other calls that are pending.
Thank you. Court's indulgence. State passes the witness, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you. Sergeant Seals, you've been employed in law enforcement for 28 years.
Yes, sir.
Worked your way up.
Yes, sir.
You're an instructor.
Yes, sir.
A lot of experience.
Yes.
You testified that you've been in multiple crime scenes through these 28 years.
Yes.
Fair to say that, a severed appendage, an arm or a leg is going to bleed, but a head, there's got to be a lot more blood going on there, correct? One would assume.
You would think so.
And you would testify that when you got there, having been on so many crime scenes, you go and you look in the bathroom because it just doesn't make sense. You're assuming this head wasn't, removed from the body here on the bed. It had to have been somewhere else. Fair to say?
No, I didn't say that. It seemed like, because the shoulders were pulled to the edge of the bed, it appeared that it was done there. But I was looking to see you know, because that, yeah, the shoulders pulled over here. It didn't appear that it was done somewhere else.
But you said you went and looked in the bathroom, correct?
Yeah, to see if there was like cleanup, signs of struggle or something.
Blood?
Yeah, blood from while washing your hands. Because I looked in the sink around the ring and didn't see anything that...
Based upon the blood markings on the bed, it was clear the body had been moved.
I can't say that. I don't...
Okay. Can't give an opinion one way or the other?
Well, the body was here. There was blood on the right side of the body. And like I said, directly under where the shoulders were, there was an area of blood like that. But I don't, yeah.
But you testified things just didn't seem right, and that's why you went and you looked in the bathroom, correct?
Yes.
And, I mean, you'd agree with me, you talk about a bucket, I mean, that's just, you're speculating. I mean, you're hypothesizing, fair to say.
Absolutely.
And fair to say that you can't say. I mean, if something was wrong, so you went and you looked in the bathroom, correct? Based upon what you saw.
Based on what I saw, like I said, that is speculation, but it's like what made sense with the way that the blood was, the body was, lack of blood on the thing, the shoulders lined up with the side. And part of me going into the bathroom also is just before I turn things over to detectives, I want to make sure that I checked everything in case they have questions for me.
Fair enough. But again, you would have expected to have seen a lot more blood, correct? Had
Yes.
the head just been chopped off or sawed off or however removed there, correct?
If they were alive at the time, you know, because typically when I have seen those injuries, if you're alive, your blood is pumping and it squirts. It's, you know, I've seen a guy cut his neck and it squirts.
All over the place. If you ever had any cases
If they're
where
alive.
have you ever had an experience though where a head's been cut off with a saw? Oh, we're dead.
Not that I know of.
Okay, so we don't know then. Fair to say?
Fair to
But you
say.
went and looked in the bathroom, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. No further questions.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jury have any questions? Please, sir, you can write your question on a full sheet of paper with your name.
Oh,
and
jury
number.
question.
King Counsel approach.
I like jury questions.
Yeah, I forgot they do them here.
The homeowner, Yoko, were the dogs hers or the victim? Did she tell you?
The only thing, the direct answer to your question is, I don't know whose they were.
Okay. Was it no? Did she tell you if it was normal for them to be locked out based on your conversation with Yoko?
She said it was abnormal.
Okay. State any follow-up based on the jury question?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, jury have any further questions for this witness?
Thank you, Jam Cracker, for you becoming a member, and then you are just going straight in and kicking 5 memberships into the pool. And I'm just waiting for the chat to catch up. I can see it over here. Cyber Chicken Boston, who was just on and had a great interview. Well, I felt it was a great interview yesterday about the Two Flames cult. If you didn't watch it, please go and watch it later. It was very important information, I feel. Brina D. Johns, King Burp, and the Global Report was all gifted a membership from Jam Cracker. Thank you so much. And I don't. Where is it? Yeah, I can pull them up now. Oh, thank you so much, Jam Cracker.
Okay, seeing no response, sir, you are excused. Thank you very much for your testimony here today. Either by voice, phone, email, text, internet, or other means of communication or social media.
Stephanie Wilson.
I swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be true, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Ma'am,
Thank you.
and can you please state your full name and then spell it for the record?
Stephanie Wilson, STEPHANIE WILSON.
Thank you. Ma'am, what do you do for a living?
I am currently employed as the crime scene analyst supervisor for the Henderson Police Department.
And how long have you been with Henderson Police Department in total?
I've been with Henderson for 18 years.
How long have you been working in your current capacity as crime scene supervisor?
For 13.
Jury asking questions stops confused jury when they have to start deliberation. I think it's very important, and it's actually also a very good weather gauge for both the defense and the state, where the jury might need a little more. Okay, we need to get this in and that in. I like it because we can also sit here and say, "Oh, this is what the jury is thinking of." I really didn't care about what the hell is about the dogs. But I know Jamie would be thinking the same thing. Why were the dogs barking?
Yeah, exactly.
Years.
What did you do prior to being the crime scene supervisor?
I was a crime scene analyst with Henderson, and then 2 years prior to me getting hired on at Henderson, I was employed with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, also as a crime scene analyst.
And what type of training and education do you have that allows you to do what you do?
So upon getting hired, you go through an 11-week academy. It's like
If you're new here, I'm going to skip through all her qualification because we all watched the trial before. It's just her saying, I went to school and I did my courses. We just skipped to her in her testimony. We have all heard this before.
classroom type duty as
Anderson?
Correct.
That's here within Clark County, Nevada.
Correct.
What types of calls for service have you responded to in your career, Jim?
To all clients who assist my folks.
Crime scene analyst.
Sure. So we respond to the scene.
Everything from this particular scene or investigation is associated with this matter.
Yes.
And then Henderson tracks their event number.
Usually the homicides are work shift.
Do you remember how many?
Responsibilities.
And on August 7th of 2023, our date in question, do you remember how many crime scene analysts you were supervising at the time?
2 at the time.
At that scene?
At that scene, yes.
Overall, how many in your team?
8. I have 8 total.
Okay. And is it common for a homicide scene such as this to have 2 plus a supervisor?
At least 2, if not more, and myself as well.
Okay. Who are the other 2 that responded to this scene with you?
So I had CSA Megan Bone and CSA Randy Newbold with me.
And you mentioned dividing up duties. How do you go about doing that?
It's usually based on a rotation at some level, workloads, but usually one person is assigned photographs.
She's a very, very pretty lady. I have to say that. I think she's
she is.
very pretty. Normally, we're not seeing this caliber of crime scene investigators. I'm just saying, but I think she's a very pretty lady. She looks like she might be part Asian or something like that.
I don't know. Her hair is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those eyebrows, but the surprised look has never really done it for me.
Oh my lord.
And writing the report, and the other person is assigned evidence and diagramming.
And you mentioned processing earlier, like latent print processing.
Correct.
Is that actually something you and your crime scene analysts do hands-on?
Yes.
Can you describe generally the process of latent print processing and then go into DNA processing?
Sure. So latent print processing is really determined on the surface area that we're trying to process. It, depending on whatever you're trying to process, will determine what type of powders we use. There's multiple different types of powders or techniques we'll utilize, again, depending on that surface. But we will utilize these powders. We will photograph it if needs be, and then using tape, we'll collect the tape, and we'll collect it using the tape, putting it on the latent print card.
How about DNA processing?
So DNA processing is, we'll get there, we'll do a visual inspection.
Well, I'm no expert, but it does look like she had some work done, especially on her eyelids. They look weird. So, and I think if you live in this town like Las Vegas, where everything is facade, you might be very conscious about your looks, because there's a lot of beautiful people going to Vegas to try and make it big there, or to Hollywood, and that's very close by. So you're probably.
I highly doubt she got work done to be a crime scene investigator.
No, but I'm saying that if you work in a city where a lot of people are beautiful, you will be more conscious about your looks than if you live in bumfuck North Carolina. if everyone is going around in their wife beater and Crocs, you're probably not thinking, I'm going to put on a little more makeup today. You're probably thinking, I want one of those rascals at Walmart. That's what I'm saying. It's the same with people who are online constantly will also be very conscious about their looks because they see other people and think that's how real people look. Jamie, sometimes you should listen to me. I'm smart.
This is the style of eyebrows nowadays, so just saying.
Yeah, I don't like it.
If something looks like it could be blood, we'll photograph it.
No, I like a natural curve. I don't like this. I'm a Vulcan.
First, and then we will perform a presumptive test to see if it is blood. There's a lot of things that look like blood that are maybe not blood, so we'll perform a presumptive test, and then if it is determined to be blood, we'll document it accordingly and collect a sample.
Okay. So the instant case, you responded on August 7th of 2023.
Yes.
Did you respond to 2698 Paladura?
Yes.
Obviously within your jurisdiction of Henderson.
Correct.
And do you remember around what time you responded?
We arrived at the scene at roughly about 10 in the morning.
When you responded to the scene, did you get a briefing from the folks who were already on scene?
We did. From the patrol personnel on scene, we got a briefing.
When you received the briefing, well, generally, what is the purpose of getting a briefing?
It's just to get all the information we have up until that point. Usually it's just to get report numbers, names, dates of births, details of the calls for service, maybe what patrol or fire observed when they first got there, just kind of your basic preliminary information.
Okay. Are there times in which you will receive a briefing and that will guide you in what to focus on, what is normal or abnormal in the scene, etc.?
Yes.
And so you're receiving this information in order to determine kind of how to approach the scene, is that
Sure.
correct? What was the briefing you received in this case?
In this particular case, we received information that that the victim had been found by his mother, that he was laying in bed, and that there was a strong odor of chemicals in the area that he was found. We weren't really sure yet what we had. Patrol had.
Jamie, I need your evaluation of her lashes.
You look good. That's what I noticed right off the bat.
Yeah, that's very, very stripper lashes, right? As long as yours were.
Those are my style. That's how I like them. Very strippery.
Advised that they believed that his head was gone, was missing. That is such a rare occasion, or I guess circumstance for us, that we still were a little skeptical going into that. We weren't sure if we were dealing with, a gunshot wound or something like that that could explain that, I guess. So.
Well, let me stop you. Just.
Okay.
Are there times in which you've responded to scenes where it may be reported in that way, the head is gone, but it's just severely damaged from a gunshot wound or something like that?
Yes.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
A little skeptical.
Yes.
Didn't really think it was an actual decapitation.
Correct.
Okay. And so you received that information. Do you receive information related to how many people were at the?
Is that better for the chat? I'm fuddling around with the chat. Or this new program. So is it easier to read now? Someone was complaining about the colors before as well.
Home at the time the body was discovered?
Yes, we were told that there were, the victim was in the scene, and then there were two other individuals that were in the scene.
And were those two elderly Asian American folks?
Yes.
Did you see them when you arrived? Were they still there?
We did. They had moved them outside of the house. They were sitting outside the front of the house.
And after receiving your briefing, do you essentially go in and do what we refer to as a walkthrough?
Yes.
What does that mean for the jury?
So we go in and we just do a brief walk around the scene and see what we have. We're not starting anything at that point. We're just assessing the scene and what's in the scene and what we need to be cognizant of, and it's just very brief.
Okay. Once the walkthrough is done, and I presume a search warrant was authored and issued in the process of this.
Yes.
And pursuant to that search warrant, a judge authorized you all to go in and do your investigation.
Correct.
When the walkthrough is going on, are crime scene analysts documenting at that time?
Not during the walkthrough.
Okay. So it's the next step when they begin documentation?
Right. We actually try to limit how many people go through the initial walkthrough because we want to try to minimize any type of contamination, if at all possible. So not everyone necessarily does the walkthrough, but yes, once the search warrant is signed and we're authorized to go in at that point, I send in one person, usually that person taking photos, and they go in by themselves so that we're minimizing any contamination, and they photograph the entire scene.
And you bring up a good point. Is it common on homicide scenes for first responders to have gone into the scene before your arrival?
Yes.
And first responders could be patrol officers and or fire department paramedics, etc.
That's what happens most of the time, yes.
I would presume their goal is life-saving measures initially.
Absolutely.
Your goal is a little different. Once it's clear that the life is not being saved, you're then trying to limit access.
Correct.
But you're certainly not going to limit someone going in to try to save somebody's life.
Correct.
Okay. And in this case, you mentioned that the duties were divided up a bit.
Yes.
Did you say who was doing photography?
CSA Megan Bone.
Okay. And is there typically what's referred to as a crime scene diagram authored?
Yes.
Who did that in this case?
So in this particular
Thank you, Ruth Ann, for becoming a member.
case, we had actually just gotten a new piece of equipment. We had just gotten a scanner. It's like a 3D scanner. So I actually did the scans of the scene, and it just generates point cloud data of the scene. And Megan was able to take that data and put it into this computerized diagram.
May I approach?
Yes.
Showing state 16, do you recognize that?
Yes.
What does that appear to be?
That is the diagram of the scene.
And move the admission of that.
No objection to that?
No objection.
That we agree?
May I publish?
Yes.
Thank you. Showing the jury 16. So this particular diagram, does this encompass kind of the lower levels of the home?
Yes.
Describe the home kind of...
Sorry, I didn't see this one. Celestial Force says, on a serious note, need some prayers for my son. He's having emergency surgery today. If you are the praying type, maybe send one up to the big guy and ask him to keep his hand over Celestial Force's son. And as I am a Danish People Church Christian, we don't pray that much. I will just wish him all the best of luck and hope that everything will go as smoothly and it'll fix the problem and everything will be be good, not God. Everything will be good and someone will keep his hand over him.
I second.
Generally how it was set up, including levels.
You're not in the Danish
So
People Church.
when you initially walk through the front door of the residence, I would consider that maybe a lower level. You walk in the front door into this formal living room. From there, there's like a couple of steps that lead up into that formal dining room and kitchen area. The dining room and kitchen area are all on essentially the same level. From there, on, I guess it would be the east side of that dining area, next to the kitchen, there is again another set of a couple stairs that lead back down into that living room where the decedent was found.
So bottom left of the diagram, exhibit 16, is this the front door?
Yes.
And then you said you walk into the living room?
Yes.
And then there are a couple steps up to the formal dining room?
Yes.
And then a couple steps down to what we'll refer to as, the victim's room?
Yes.
And here it's listed as living room. It's kind of a converted room, is that fair?
Yes.
Dining and formal dining room are on the same level?
Yes.
And then there's some stairs that go up to bedrooms upstairs?
Correct.
Okay. Based upon the scene and kind of how you're approaching it, I would presume that you searched the entire house.
We did not personally, the crime scene personnel didn't search the entire house,
Yeah.
but yes.
And when I say you, I'm referring to all of Henderson.
Yes.
I should have been more specific.
Okay, yes.
You, as well as homicide detectives, are searching the entirety of the scene.
Correct.
Searching and photographing and documenting are different things.
Correct.
Okay. You guys are documenting this.
Yes.
Okay. The garage here is down to the bottom right, correct?
Yes.
And then just for the record, what is all this we're seeing on the right-hand side of the screen?
So it's a legend of the diagram, so you can kind of see the title. So we have the report number, the address, what type of incident it is, who completed the diagram, and then we have, like I said, a legend of the evidence and items that we collected within the scene. And then a scale, it's a rough scale, and approximate scale, and then an arrow showing directionality.
Okay. Approximate scale, this is by foot?
Yes.
Okay. And then the evidence is listed as 1 ammonia bottle, 2 bleach bottle, 3 dog door insert, 4 documents. Fair?
Correct.
Those numbers then correspond with these little yellow numbers inside the diagram?
Yes.
And that's attempting to depict those exactly where they're found.
Correct.
And then obviously we have the victim's body there on the bed. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Prior to you coming into the courtroom, did you have an opportunity to look through exhibits 16 to 234?
Yes, I did.
You thumbed through all of those?
I did.
To save some time, you did it in the hallway?
I did.
And did all those appear to be fair and accurate depictions of the crime scene photos, or some of them that were taken at this scene?
Yes.
And I would move for the admission of 16 to 195 and then 208 through 234.
No objection.
No objection to those? Okay. 16 to 195 and 208 to 234?
Yes.
Okay.
Move to publish.
Permission to post them all.
Thank you. Showing you 17. What is this?
So that is a gray card that is part of our standard procedure for my folks. When they photograph any crime scene, they begin with this photo card, if you will, which again tells us the date, the report number, who's taking the photos, and from a photographic standpoint, the color scale along the bottom could be important as well.
Okay. And the photographed by, it says MB1678. What does MB stand for?
Megan Bone.
And 1678?
That's her P number.
P number is an individualized personnel number?
Correct.
Just another way of tracking evidence and such?
Correct.
Showing you states 18. Is this 2698 Paladura?
Yes.
Obviously located within a residential neighborhood?
Yes.
Describe kind of what we're seeing in this particular photograph.
This is the front of the house. This is how it appeared when we arrived. The garage door was partially up like that. There was crime scene tape that had been placed by patrol officers. There was a cone in the driveway that had been put there by patrol officers. And during our initial briefing, we'd been told that they believed that they had located an area of blood. And so they had kind of identified that and marked that with a cone. And then you can see one of the individuals who lived in the house was sitting out front with one of the patrol officers.
Anything of note about the garage?
The garage door was found in that position, partially up.
Okay. 19, is this just the address marker and a little sign that says guard dog on duty?
Yes.
20, just for the record, that's the garage?
Yes.
And could you estimate, was that like 2 feet, 3 feet? Can you remember?
Not exactly, but I would guess about 2 feet.
States 21, what are we looking at here?
That's the cone that patrol had placed in the driveway.
Okay. Is that to the left of the cone a little spot of apparent blood?
Yes.
Was that presumptively tested?
Yes, it was.
And what was the result of that?
It was presumptive positive for blood.
As a result of the presumptive positive test, what do you and your team do with that?
So we use our own placard, which there are additional photos of later on. We use our own placard to identify this area of blood. In this case, I believe it was marker A.
States 22.
And we re-photograph it again with our placard, and then we will collect a sample of it.
Okay. And so in 22, you can see there's a couple of looks like spots or like a trail or whatever you want to call it. Is that right?
Correct.
I'm going to try not to be redundant with the photos. I'm going to draw your attention to 24. For the record, when you're looking at the home, is this the right side gate or entrance area which would lead to the garage?
Yes.
I'm sorry, to the backyard.
To the side yard, yes.
And was that obstructed?
Yes, it was completely closed off.
By what?
This wood fence.
Okay, just for the record.
It's a personal identification number, a PIN number, not a PIN. It's just people who have a dirty mind on a Monday, which just Jamie is very, very much against, because Monday comes after Sunday, the holiest days of the week. And even though we are covering a case where a Cornstar banged her stepson, Jamie is very much against PIN numbers.
There are 3 large trash cans there.
Yes.
We'll get to that a little bit later.
Does every man get a PIN number
States
at
25,
first?
those trash cans, and then that wood.
Well,
Is that a fact?
well, most of us just hope it's above a 6, the PIN number. Jamie, behave.
You behave.
Wood fence, I guess, covers the entirety of that way into the backyard, correct?
Correct.
Showing you states 26, are we now looking at, if you're facing the home, the left side, which would be the potential other entrance to the backyard?
Yes.
27, just a little bit closer there, showing that.
The gate, yes.
And that gate appears to be a gate that does swing.
It does.
Correct. We'll get to the backyard in a little bit. Showing you
gate.
states 28, is this the front door?
It is.
Any signs of forced entry to the front door?
None.
States 29, is that just documenting and showing that the door wasn't busted out?
Yes.
30, what are we looking at here?
So that is that front living room right when you walk in through the front door.
Photographer is basically standing in the threshold of the front door?
Yes.
31, what perspective are we looking at now?
So again, in that same position, right on that threshold of the front door, looking up into the dining area.
You can see what appears to be a power tool here to the right. Can you see it?
Yes.
Fair to say that's not a saw?
Correct.
Some other
yes.
kind of power tool, okay. And then 32, where are we oriented now?
We're in that same living room, just standing just to the side of the front door. And you can see the stairs going up to the second floor.
Okay, so these in the right-hand side are the stairs you referred to going up to kind of the living area, and then to the right, that goes up to the upper level.
Correct.
States 34, have we now gone up one level?
Yes.
And do you remember what this is referred to in the
dining area?
Okay. So these are overall photographs?
Yes.
Before anything is kind of moved and searched?
Correct, yes.
35, orient us please.
Same in that dining area, but you can kind of see the entry going into the kitchen.
36, is this just showing the stairs that lead up to the, I guess it's the third floor, but the upper level?
Yes.
37, what are we looking at here?
That is a closet just inside that kitchen area.
38,
That's an overall of the kitchen.
39, just a different angle of the kitchen.
Yes.
Was the kitchen searched and documented?
Yes.
40, is that the kitchen?
Yes.
43, start opening cabinets and you and your team are searching through everything?
Yes.
44, oops, zoom back out. Still in the kitchen, opened up the dishwasher?
Yes.
Nothing of evidentiary value or note in there?
No.
And I won't go through all these, but I mean, you're opening these cabinets and going through pretty much everything, right?
Correct.
46, knife drawer.
Yes.
In here we have kind of your common steak knives and butter knives over here. Is that fair?
Yes.
48, another utensil drawer or a couple of utensil drawers.
Yes.
And there are several other drawers, cabinets that are photographed in the kitchen. Is that right?
Yes.
Anything that you found that had any apparent blood on it or anything of potential evidentiary value?
Nothing.
And you went into the 56, went into the fridge, documented everything. Fair?
Yes.
Focus in on 61. What is this here?
That is one of 2 trash cans that were located in that kitchen area.
And that trash can was searched?
Yes.
Anything of potential evidentiary value?
No.
Random question for you. Did you find any engagement ring or any type of ring in the trash?
No.
In any trash can?
No.
States 63. What are we looking at here?
That is the adjacent dining area to the kitchen.
Okay. And so in the background, you can see an entrance to a room. Where is that going?
That is going down to the living room makeshift bedroom area that the victim was found in.
And before we move out of this kitchen or dining area, 65, is that another trash can?
Yes.
Searched?
Yes.
No ring?
That one was completely empty.
$67, what are we looking at here?
So that is standing right on, in the dining area, right before those steps leading down into, again, the living area, makeshift bedroom area.
And just for the record, there is no door that enters into this room,
No.
correct? There is what appears to be a flag and or a bed sheet that kind of doubles, I guess, as a door or block.
Yes.
68.
So this isn't a basic overall. We're starting to get into the overalls of that living area. Again, bedroom, makeshift.
Baker's peen is an 8, but that's in centimeters. Well, the average size in Europe is an inch longer than in America. I'm just saying, ladies.
Bedroom area.
69, same room, just different perspective.
Yes.
70, same room, different perspective.
Yes.
Now we're finally seeing the bed for the first time.
Yes.
That's kind of tucked around the corner there, is that correct?
That's correct.
71. So what does this hallway lead to here?
So that hallway leads to a bathroom and the laundry room that connects to the garage.
Okay. 72, different perspective, same room.
Yes.
73, different perspective, same room.
Yes.
74, same room.
Yes.
Different perspective. $78, what are we looking at here?
So along the south wall of that room was like fireplace area, and it had this shelving area on top of it.
A fireplace area, but it appeared it's blocked off.
Yes.
Right, it's kind of doubling as shelves.
Correct, yes.
79, what is this?
That's a table in that room.
All right. Before we approach the bed, so are there any general observations you made of this part of the scene before we get into the bed and the body?
It appeared to be cluttered with clothing and other various items. There was nothing that particularly stood out visually. Again, just that it was dirty and cluttered and kind of unkempt.
And obviously, no weapons or anything like that that you found at this point.
No.
So state's 80, we're kind of shifting over to the bed here. What are we looking at?
A shoe, some socks, some random clothing items.
One of those random clothing items is some black boxers.
Yes.
Okay. Then you got a shoe, some socks, and some wires, correct?
Correct.
Showing you now states 81. Just please, for the record, orient us.
So we're looking north at the bed. So that's the north wall. And that's the bed that's tucked away in that whole side of the room.
'82. What portion of the bed are we looking at here?
That's the headboard of that bed.
And you're documenting kind of the gap in between the headboard and the bed?
Yes.
83, getting a little closer to the bed here.
Yes.
84, now we're at the foot of the bed?
Correct.
Did you find anything of potential evidentiary value, let me flip that, down near the foot of the bed?
That's where we started seeing what appeared to be blood.
Okay.
Was the foot of the bed.
And I do have photos later that show your markers, but do you remember where that particular blood was?
Right on the foot portion of that bed, that wood frame of the bed, we started seeing like our first drops of blood.
Okay. We're getting a weird glare here, so let me see if we can.
And some on the carpeting.
84A. For the record, that was within the stack 84A, but I don't think I mentioned that.
I don't think you mentioned it.
We'd move to the admission of the A as well.
Okay.
No objection.
Okay.
Thanks. So now we are, we're still on the other side of the bed. I apologize. I'll show you. 86. So what are we looking at here?
So that's on the opposite side of the bed. Now we're at, standing on the opposite side of the bed, where you can see the top portion of the victim, and you have that small kind of area just between the bed and the dresser, some other furniture items along that wall.
For the record, the victim's his shoulders are kind of adjacent or parallel to the left side of the bed in this photo.
Yes.
The left edge, I should say. Yes?
Yes.
Did you make any observations about the blood patterns here on top of the bed?
There were some what appeared to be deep saturation blood stains on that side of the bed.
There is a glare, and I've been trying to fix it, but tell me if you need me to bring this photo up to you. Do you remember this particular stain, saturation closest to the foot of the bed being more red in color?
I don't remember that specifically.
Okay. May I approach?
Yes. I can see it in this photo, yes.
Counsel, which exhibit's that?
Sorry, 86.
Thank you.
And then down on the ground, did you make any observations?
Yes, there was another area of what appeared to be just saturated blood right on the ground right below.
91, that shows it a little bit better. I'm going to try to zoom in. The larger stain on the ground, is that an area you would refer to as a saturation point?
Yes.
And then there's another lighter spot above that, correct?
Correct.
Just tell me kind of what your observations were related to this blood and the positioning of the victim.
So that was right below where the victim's head would have been.
No, I didn't do YouTube back then, so I didn't cover Peter Madsen. I've talked a lot about it It's the submarine case, if anyone doesn't know the name.
Clearly, that's where we saw the bloodletting injury, if you will, occurring. So that's where carpet is a little difficult, but those were saturation stains. So it was just blood that had pooled and saturated in those areas right below where he was at.
Showing you 92. Is this that same stain, just
Yes.
a different perspective?
Yes.
Do you see areas of kind of displacement or like odd patterning here?
It's difficult to determine that, but to determine like clean borders, but
Sure.
yes.
Sure. Clean borders, like what are you referring to? What does that mean?
Like if something had been placed there, carpet again is difficult because you don't get those clean borders that you would see like on a hard surface or a non-porous surface. Carpet is a little more difficult, but yes, like you can, I guess, see the outline of where the stain ends.
On the right side of the stain, it looks like there's almost a straight line. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. I would presume your photographer got a little closer and took several photographs of this area as well as the victim's shoulders.
Yes.
Showing you now 93. This is a little bit better photo of the patterning here on the bed. Is that right?
Yes.
Did you make any deductions or observations related to the amount of blood, the positioning of the blood, etc.?
We didn't at that time, no. We just clearly observed and documented that this just was a very large saturation blood stain.
98, this is a different perspective. Oops. What are we looking at here?
So that is the upper portion of the victim, again, void of his head.
And just for the record, is there a substantial amount of blood on top of a blue and white comforter?
Yes.
And then what is this item right here?
That's a large pillow that was underneath the top portion of the victim's torso.
States 101, different perspective of the area where his head should be, correct?
Correct.
Did you make any observations about the color, or, I guess, texture or anything about the blood?
Yes, the blood appeared black, just dark, extremely dark, atypical of what we usually see.
And I should have asked you earlier, did you smell anything while you were in the scene?
It was overwhelmingly, the chemical smell was overwhelming, burning our eyes, burning our nostrils. It was overpowering, the chemical smell that was coming specifically from this area. That smell was present throughout this room, but the closer you got to this area of the victim, when you walked around the foot of the bed and came towards this area, it was overpowering.
I'll show you one more. States 100. For the record, kind of the same perspective, but it shows a little bit of the pooling over here as well.
Yes.
And ma'am, did you make any general deductions related to where this person was decapitated?
We felt like it was done right there.
Why do you say that?
I mean, there wasn't any signs of a struggle. There wasn't any signs that he had been moved. There wasn't, if anything, we hypothesized whether or not he'd been rolled from back to front, but that was the extent of the movement that we felt that he had gone through. That there was no movement outside of that.
Okay, and so rolled from the spot that is pretty apparent down a little closer to the foot of the bed?
Correct. Either rolled or, again, something that had blood on it had been placed there that caused that saturation stain. But as far as him himself, we didn't feel like there was any movement or very little movement.
Okay. Now I have a personal question for you. How tall are you?
5'2".
You are a petite woman, we can all see. Did it appear to you that his body was the size where someone like you could roll him over?
Sure, yeah.
The documentation doesn't end here, correct?
Correct.
Eventually the sheets and stuff are kind of peeled off onion-like layers, right?
Yes.
Well, you looked closely at the victim's neck where his head was decapitated.
Yes.
Did you make any observations about the injury itself?
No, not about the injury itself, no.
So I want to show you 104, and you mentioned the chemical smell earlier. Did you observe any injuries to the body that may have been consistent with some kind of burning of chemicals?
Yes, he was covered in what appeared to be almost like blisters, or I guess burn or chemical burns throughout his body.
States 106. Is that an angle of the backside of his left shoulder?
Yes.
And left inner arm?
Yes.
And are these some of the...
I think she does this every day. She is very well put together. I don't think she is thinking about being on camera. It's not like she's going to make the 9 o'clock news. I think this is how she looks. You can tell she has that bon vivant about her. Talking about having the bomb about her. Good morning, Miss Jessica. Jamie, what do you say? You are a beauty specialist on this channel.
Well, what about her?
Well, she just have very long nails.
She looks like she does this all day, every day.
Yeah, I don't think she leaves the house in a hoodie and and Crocs shoes.
Yeah.
I think this is her look.
Yep.
Yeah, Zach, she's gonna beat you behind it. Go to the gym, Zach. Look how he's always yelling at other people to go to the gym. He's never at the gym.
The blistery kind of burn-like marks you're seeing?
Yeah. Yes.
And many of those are documented closer. I won't go through all of them, but they're documented closer, correct?
Yes.
Moving away from the body now to 109, what are we looking at?
That is looking down that short hallway leading towards, again, there's a hallway bathroom off to the right, and then you can see the laundry room and that door that leads out to the garage.
110. What are we looking at there?
So those were two, I guess, bottles of cleaning supplies that were found on the ground. Right, that door is the door to the bathroom. So one of them was a bottle of ammonia, and the other one is a bottle of soft scrub.
States 111, where are we looking here?
That's looking into the bathroom, that hallway bathroom.
And that's all documented as well?
Yes.
States 112, what are we looking at here?
That's a picture of the vanity in that bathroom.
Including the sink and the toilet?
Yes.
And then we're trying to get a photo of the shower printed, but that's all looked at and documented.
Yes.
Did you observe any signs of blood in the bathroom area?
No, we did not.
Had you would have swabbed it and taken it, I presume?
Yes.
Going back for a moment. To states 100. Would you agree with me that the blood in this area is generally focused where his head should be, and then at the bottom of the, or I guess the foot of the bed and the ground?
Yes.
Directly underneath it?
Yes.
Have you responded to crime scenes involving gunshot wounds?
Yes.
How, I mean, any estimate, thousands, hundreds?
Hundreds.
Okay. Have you responded to scenes involving stab wounds?
Yes.
And is it common to observe blood kind of less focused in one area in those types of scenes?
Can you explain that?
Well, would you expect with a gunshot wound cast off or spray or spatter?
Yes, absolutely.
What are those terms that I just used, just so the jury understands?
So anytime you have like a gunshot wound injury, you will see various types of blood spatter, if you will. We have forward spatter, you'll have back spatter. For injuries involving like sharp objects like stabbings, a lot of times you'll see cast-off patterns, things like that. So there's all different various types of blood spatter depending on what type of injuries or implements cause those injuries.
Sure. And if an injury occurs while a person is alive, it's probably more likely that their arteries are pumping and their veins are pumping.
Absolutely.
If an injury occurs that's not, if a decapitation occurs post-mortem, there's not going to be spurting, correct?
Correct.
And I should ask the general question.
No, they never found the head. They never found the tools used to remove the head.
Did you observe any spatter, cast off, or anything on the walls?
No.
On the headboard?
No.
On the ceiling?
No.
On the anything else that's kind of cluttered around the
No.
bar? Anything of evidentiary value found in the washer and dryer?
No.
Other than the two chemical bottles on the ground, anything of evidentiary value found in that hallway or bathroom area?
No.
$119. Is this the door, the garage door?
Yes.
And I guess, what perspective are we looking at this at?
So you're inside the garage.
Okay. So we passed through that hallway, past the bathroom, into
Right.
120. What are we looking at here?
That's an overall inside the garage.
$121, different perspective, but kind of capturing the other angle.
Yes.
$122.
Hey, little D.
Also in the garage.
Yes.
Did you, and I should say all of you, HPD,
Yes.
did you turn this garage upside down as well?
Yes.
Is there any weapons found in this garage?
No.
Anything with apparent blood on it?
No.
And obvious question, did you find the victim's head anywhere in the garage?
No.
Going back to the bedroom for a minute, 123. Is this the slider leading to the backyard?
Yes.
And 125. When you move the blinds back, what is this here?
So that's a doggy door insert that goes inside of the sliding glass door, and it has that glass panel, and then at the very bottom was a doggy door.
And for the record, that doggy door is closed.
Yes.
And then this particular, the latch on the slider, was that open or closed?
Open.
Open. Ultimately, did you and other crime scene analysts impound this dog door
We did.
cover? And those two chemical bottles?
We did.
Showing you 128. What are we looking at here?
That's an overall of the backyard.
129. What are we looking at here?
That's the side gate that we previously looked at inside of the house.
I'm going to try to zoom in the best I can. This is not the gate where we saw the big wooden fence.
No.
So if you're looking at the house from the front, this would be the left gate.
Yes.
And in the back, obviously, the right gate. Could anyone access that gate from the front? Like, what are we looking at here?
It was a bunch. It was like wood boards and everything, like on the ground in front of the gate.
Okay, and that gate, for the record, swings into the backyard?
Yes.
And that would be obstructed?
Yes.
Thank you so much, Brandon. As I talked about earlier, Brandon is sharing the link again. It's copied up in the top of the chat to the GoFundMe. Brandon says, do you ever find yourself wanting to get away from Baker? Do you ever go so far to light the entire car and highway on fire to scare off the ice gremlins just to be rescued? But then hero truck blow up, help him buy new tools to save you too. This is the GoFundMe I talked about in the beginning. A man who used to work with asphalt, road construction, parking spaces, and stuff like that, was on his way down the highway when his car caught fire and the entire car burned down. He got out of there in time before everything went up in smoke. His car has been replaced by the insurance company, but his big problem is all of his tools are missing. So if you have a potential to help this man out, there's a link for a GoFundMe where he's trying to raise money to buy his tools again. It's $15,000 worth of tools that he's missing because it's specialized tools for his asphalt paving. I don't know what you call it, but he is he's in dire need of these tools because it's his livelihood and he can't work without them, and the insurance company will not refund those losses. Thank you so much, Brandon. It's very much appreciated. You should have given it to him instead. And please go look at the GoFundMe. It's linked in the top of the chat. So if you want to go help a guy out, or if you just want to share it so you can get some eyes on it, it'll be very much appreciated because this man is needing all the tools to have his job. Also, Val sucks at life, etc., but help Uncle Jeff buy new tools so he can help save you too. Yes. And he's from Toronto, which I believe is in Canada. So he's a good guy. But thank you so much, Brandon.
And actually, we're going to come back to the backyard in a minute. I'm going to just try to make this more efficient. 1:30, you go upstairs.
Yes.
You and other crime scene personnel document all of that.
Yes.
1:31. This is the upstairs area.
Yep.
And just to show you how devastated it was, this is his GoFundMe. This is the truck on fire. And as you can see, it's burned to a crisp. He tried to save it, but sadly, it didn't help. He wasn't fast enough, and I don't know if this is a good name for someone who donated. Corn Pillai, I don't know, but Jeff Lepard is trying to rebuild his business after a devastating fire. The link is on the top of the chat, and if you have the possibility to share it or support it, please consider doing it. It's recommended by Brandon, and Brandon is a good egg. Even though Jamie doesn't like him.
love Brandon. Get out of here.
And carry on, Sheba dog with a big smile on his face, tilting his head. Thank you for that super sticker. I like that they say what the super stickers are now. Poor guy.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, I can see it in chat now.
Oh.
Yeah, he's good. He came out. Was he hurt? I don't believe he was hurt. He got out in time and tried to stop the fire, but it just burnt down. So yeah. Yes, regardless of what your girlfriend says, sharing is caring. So if nothing else, go share it out there so he can get his life back.
Right at the top of
Thank
the
you so
stairs.
much, Brandon.
And just as an example, 132, you're opening cabinets, you're going through everything, correct?
Correct.
Without showing a bunch of photos, was there anything of potential evidentiary value found upstairs?
No.
Any weapons?
No.
Any head?
No.
Any blood?
No.
Showing you 138. Is this one of the upstairs living area bedrooms?
Yes.
And can you see some what appears to be some little girls' clothes and little stuffies up here?
Yes.
Well, that's what my kids call them, stuffies.
Yes.
Right? 140. Some more kind of child's clothing or small clothing there.
Yes.
And this is all upstairs.
Yes.
145. This bathroom door appears to be painted pink.
Yes.
Did you find it? All right. So very briefly, 153. We now have evidence placards next to the two chemical bottles.
Yes.
And those should correspond with our crime scene diagram.
Yes.
Evidence placard 1 states 155, the ammonia bottle.
Yes.
Was that processed in any way at the scene?
Not at the scene, no.
For the record, 156, that's just showing the other side of the bottle to see how much is left in there.
Correct.
I'd say maybe 1/3 full.
Correct.
And did I say, is that the ammonia bottle?
Yes.
Okay, and then 154.
I don't know, Vicky, if he's a well-known guy. Brandon reached out to me today and said, "Can we share this link?" And of course we can. I'm not going to share every link if everyone comes and say, "Hey, my dog needs a new pedicure." But if people I know and trust says this is a worthy cause, of course I will try and drive some traffic that way, because, as Brandon said, sharing is caring, and we got a little audience, and maybe a few people out there can help.
The other bottle appears to be soft scrub bleach.
Yes.
When you say not processed at the scene, what do you mean?
So we collected it with the intent of bringing it back to the station to have our forensic evidence lab technician process it in the lab.
Going back to the backyard for a moment, the one gate is obstructed that swings inward to the backyard.
Correct.
The other side, I've shown you a photo earlier from the front, that gate, that wooden fence.
Yes.
Does that cause that side to be completely obstructed as well?
Yes.
Okay, so both sides are obstructed.
Yes.
States 160. Where are we now?
So that's the foot of the bed where the victim was.
161. Now we have an evidence placard showing what?
That's showing an area of apparent blood that was located on the foot of the bed.
Very small, almost like droplets.
Yes.
Did those appear to be downward droplets?
Yes.
What's the difference between a downward and kind of a spray?
It's like a passive.
Haven't heard
blood drop.
anything.
So it doesn't show a lot of directionality. It's more of just like a passive, like something that's dripping blood just passively. It doesn't show a lot of movement.
In addition, in the bedroom, did you and other crime scene analysts locate a bunch of writings, pink writing?
Yes.
Were those accessed and then ultimately photographed page by page?
Yes.
Did those shed light on your investigation?
Yes.
And generally, without saying what the letters say, why were they relevant to your investigation?
It appeared to be handwritten notes regarding a child custody disagreement.
Okay. I move for the omission of 196 to 207.
We'd object as a hearsay if you want us to approach with your...
Please.
She is very pretty, Danielle. We said that she looks very, very well put together, if you can say it that way. Especially, she has been on the job for 18 years, so she's not a spring chicken. Jamie, that means she's not young. I know you don't know all these sayings.
Oh my Lord. She's got great eyelashes, pretty hair.
Yeah, and she has.
We're going to make cards, and I don't know that that's going to be done in the next 20 minutes. So we're going to stop for the day, and then we'll do this, and then we'll pick back up.
So that was day one. We're not going to go into day two because that's another 8 hours, and So we're going to do an early day today, even though Jamie won't allow that. Normally, because it's Monday and we are trying to help Brandon's friend out, well, not his friend, but some of his acquaintance, we're doing an early day, and we'll start up again with day two tomorrow and go all the way through day two. Start the normal time, 2:45-ish. And figure out what is up and down in all of this craziness. For those of you who weren't here from the beginning, no, I can't say that. A former Cornstar was living with the victim, had 2 kids with him, but apparently about a year into that relationship, she started smexing the stepson. Yes, it sounds like a Corn movie. And then the dad moved out, and she kind of lived with this stepson boyfriend thing and her 2 daughters. Then the 2 daughters was removed by the CPS or whatever it's called in Las Vegas. But apparently the victim wanted to come back and live with her so the daughters could grow up with both sets of parents. Then this night they go out and shop. Everything seemed fine. He looked very happy when he was on the video. Again, she's a former Cornstar. She probably knows some things that would make a man happy. And at some point, his mother then calls the popo, and I thought it was the defendant who called because she sounded really disconnected from what was happening. But she calls and says the bed is kind of grummy or something, and I think he's dead. He has no head. Having no head is a pretty good indicator that you might be dead. I'm just saying, I know there's different strokes for different folks, but no head normally is an indicator that you're not doing well. Just look at Ichabod Crane, Jamie. That case was horrible. I don't know if you followed that one.
Headless Horseman.
Oh, you knew what it was. Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
proud of you, Jamie.
Look at me.
You're knowing your urban legends. But no, that was day one. I think we got the kid. The kid. Don't yell at the kid today. She delivered on what she was saying. How did the CPS? We didn't hear anything about it. We just heard opening statements that she lost her parental rights, but she had supervised. What's it called, Jamie?
Supervised.
When you can be with your kids, but you have supervision.
Goodness gracious.
Supervised visitation.
Jeez. Every
Yeah, she
time
knows.
today, for some reason, you're asking me stuff, and my brain is going blank. Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, Maylin, but I'm going to send you to a good place where you can go and hang out with other people who would love to hear about your hibachi. Was she riding that headless horseman? Sadly, it's not a tale of your business story where she kept going after she beheaded him. There's no indication of that so far. But again, as was it Edward or whoever said it, died in the bed with a Cornstar. Probably the way out most women would like. Spanking time. What? You have to talk to Miss Jessica about that one.
Mm-hmm.
That case is considered old now by the youngins. Yeah, the Ichabod Cain trial. But these Americans, they don't know history. It was in 60 something yesterday. Oh, yes. Next Witness made a new compilation. It's over an hour long where all of us funny people and me are reacting to the Cellbrite Ian Whiffen is the greatest person alive video. Go check that out. And thank you so much, Next Witness, for being so nice to include me in that because I'm not that funny.
You're hilarious. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Low Swayshire. I think I will let Miss Jessica spank Brandon and Jamie. Brandon was very appreciative this morning when he got his 2-year membership chat, so he won't be bothering you for next week, maybe.
Hey, see what I can do for you, Brandon.
Yeah. The rest of you, thank you so much for stopping by. We're going to do it again tomorrow. We are going to get through this case. So if you are one of those sneaky watchers, I know you're out there. Thank you so much for not spoiling anything. I know we are behind, but I think it's a good case. And if you, we can all feel it like it's the first time. So no spoilers.
Yeah.
Yes, the new Danish whisk studded will be in my gift shop as soon as I find someone who can produce it. And I just need some shots of bottoms that I can use for promotional material. So just not for my own personal gratification, Jamie. You know that. It's just to see who can be the spokesmodel for, well, the bot model for the new Baker Whisk punishment. Jamie, stop me.
I can't. You're out of control. You go rogue.
I'm going rogue. It's because you're not here anymore. Everyone, please go follow the link at the top of the chat. And I'm going to send you all over to AJ. Show her some love. She is a wonderful streamer as well. Love you all. See you all. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
I'm Jimmy. How y'all doing?
I know English is your second language, but you don't word
It's
the
my
questions
third,
carefully.
but I'm still better at it than you. You are
the most important people in this case that every